Good evening. My name is Richard. This is over and over and over again. This is Matchday Live. It is, of course, Brighton versus Arsenal. Another tough away game for Arsenal over this Christmas New Year period. It's a big game. Arsenal have to win to keep that pressure on Liverpool, but it won't be easy, will it? It's going to be another difficult game. But can we get the 3 points? Stay with us. Let's find out. So, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, everywhere in the world. This is Matchday Live on over and over and over again. And this is Brighton versus Arsenal from the Premier League. Another big game, another difficult away game. I say the fixtures haven't been too kind to us, but we did come from behind to beat Brentford away on New Year's Day, and a similar result today would put us in a decent position, wouldn't it, into a big week coming up of cup games, of course, the Carabao Cup semi-final on Tuesday, and then, of course, the FA Cup third round against Manchester United next weekend. Well, what a week this is going to be. So, what is the team lineup then for this big game today? Shall we have a look then? This is how the Arsenal team line up for this game today at the Amex. It is in goal, David Raya, the back four. Thomas Partey comes in at right back, as we expected. It's William Saliba, Gabriel, and Ricardo Calafiore keeps his place at left back. In midfield, Mikel Merino comes in, Jorginho comes in alongside Declan Rice. And in the front three, Ethan Nwaneri keeps his place alongside Gabriel Jesus. And Leandro Trossard comes in on that left-hand side in place of Gabriel Martinelli. So on the bench then it is goalkeeper Roberto Neto, Jacob Kiwiora, Miles Lewis-Skelly, Kieran Tierney, Alexander Zinchenko, Nathan Butler-Odeji, Ismail Kabai, Martin Ødegaard and Gabriel Martinelli. We're hearing that Ødegaard and Martinelli have been suffering from this virus that's been going around the team, so that's why they are only fit enough for the bench. Obviously, the cup game on Tuesday is probably part of that reason as well. For Brighton, and this is how they line up. In goal, it is Bart Verbruggen. Their back four is Joel Veltman, Julio Igor, Jean-Paul Van Heck, and Pervis Estepanian. In midfield, it is Yassin Ayari, Carlos Balba, and Matt O'Reilly. And their front three is Simon Adingra, João Pedro, and Brajan Gruda. So what do we make of that Arsenal team? And obviously a few problems, as we know, with this virus that's affected some of the team. So I say Martin Ødegaard and Gabriel Martinelli are out. I mean, Martin Ødegaard had a really poor game, didn't he? I felt on New Year's Day anyway. Was that because he wasn't well? I don't know. But he's only on the bench today. So that's interesting, isn't it? Of course, Thomas Partey has to come in at right back because Juan Timber is, of course, suspended for this game following his 5 yellow cards that he's got. And when you think that most of those yellow cards have come on the back of him wasting time taking throw-ins, it's very stupid, isn't it? And it could well cost us today because Thomas Partey, although he's done okay when he's played at right back, as we know, it's not his natural position. And, you know, he can make mistakes here and it can cause us problems. But what worries me is you look at this team, right? Now, Mikel Arteta has been at this club for 5 years now. He spent, nearly £800 million. And we've got a couple of players missing, not too many, obviously, Bukayo Saka being the main one, as we know. And midfield, Merino, Jorginho and Declan Rice. Where's the inspiration there, really? Where's the creativity there? Where's the bit of magic there that you need? Nowhere. Look at our front three. We've got Ethan Nwaneri, who's a good young player, but he's only 17. We've got Gabriel Jesus, who, yes, okay, he scored a few goals lately, but we know he's not good enough. And Leandro Trossard, who's very hit and miss. That front three and that midfield is nowhere near good enough to win the Premier League, I'm sorry, or the Champions League. And then you look on the bench, and the bench has got nothing either, really. So it's a worry, isn't it? This far into this project, what's going on? Why is this the team that we've got? Why is this the bench that we've got? You know, it may well be good enough to beat Brighton, who haven't won a game for about 5 or 6 weeks. So we'll probably get the win tonight. But that doesn't mean that this squad is good enough to win a Premier League title. It isn't. It isn't. January, Mikel Arteta has already made it clear he's not going to spend too much money. I'm not saying we won't bring anybody in, but we're certainly not going to be bringing in a player like Alexander Isak, who of course scored again today for Newcastle, and of course we face him on Tuesday in the Carabao Cup. We're not going to bring in a player like that in January if we do bring anybody in. So yeah, this season is looking like we have to go for the cups, quite honestly. I think we have to go for the cups. I think we will go for the cups. We have to. We've got no choice, really, have we? So, but let's win as many league games as we can anyway. Of course, you can't just throw away the league. I'm sure we're not going to, but we just haven't got the strength, have we? We haven't got the quality. We just haven't. I'm sorry. We haven't, and that's the way it is. But let me know what you think anyway in the comments, as always. We've got some comments already, actually. Sorry, guys, I've not been paying attention. We've got Nathan with us. He says, hi, Rich, everyone in the chat. I'm going for a 1-2. Well, yeah, we'll take a 1-2. Nathan says, hit the likes, people, indeed. Hit those likes. Steve is with us. Eddie, my friend, he says 3-1. Oh, that's fair enough. 3-1 will do, won't it? Steve says, hi, Rich, all Gunner fans, indeed. Oh, Gabriel's with us. How you doing, my friend? New Year. Happy New Year to you as well. Happy New Year to everybody in the chat. Gabriel says it'll be a tight game, but I'll stick with Arsenal. Yeah, it will be a tight game. I totally agree with you. Brighton have drawn, I think, their last 3 or 4, haven't they? They're difficult to beat. As we know, we only drew with them at the Emirates back in August. Yes, we know the circumstances of that game with the Declan Rice red card when we were 1-0 up, but we didn't manage that game particularly well and got punished. So, yeah, we know it's going to be a tough game. Yes, we've won here the last 2 seasons, I think it is. We did have a poor record here before that, didn't we? In fact, Brighton were our bogey team, wasn't they, for a few years? We couldn't beat them, could we? We've got a better record in the last couple of years, but it's always a tricky game. Always a tricky game. They're a very good team. Terry's with us as well. He says, evening, Richard, Nathan, Greg, all and Ange, all in the chat. Come on, you go, girls. He says, hit that like, subscribe button nice and early. Indeed, we will. Terry says, good to see Steve. Of course it is. Happy New Year to Steve. Indeed, it is down under, of course. Terry says, Richard, let's be honest, under this fraud, we're Tom Tip. Well, we're not going to win the Premier League. We're not going to win the Premier League. I don't have any doubt about that. And I don't think that's I think if we were to bring in a new manager now with this squad of players, it's not good. The squad of players isn't good enough to win the league. And that's the issue. Yes, Arteta's built this squad, so he's to blame. Absolutely. And I think that everyone, well, not everybody, but a lot of Arsenal fans have said, that this rebuild that Mikel Arteta has needed to do, well, he's rebuilt the team and he's rebuilding again from scratch because the squad's not good enough. It's not. Okay, yes, but Bukayo Saka's injured. Probably our best player, but that's one player out of the squad. Raheem Sterling, we forget him because he's crap anyway. So we've got one player missing, basically, haven't we? And a couple of players have got the aftermath of an illness, so they're on the bench. But let's be honest, Gabriel Martinez is very hit and miss anyway. And Martin Odegaard is important to the way that we play, but is he really that top quality player that's going to win you a Premier League title? I would say no again. So the squad's not good enough. And yes, the blame of that has to go on Mikel Arteta. But just changing manager now isn't going to make any difference because it needs a lot of money invested in it. It needs a lot of time for a new manager to come in and rebuild it because this squad isn't good enough. And the club aren't going to spend that money, are they? So we're going to stick with Mikel Arteta for that reason because the owners don't care. As long as we can sneak into the top 4, which we should do, I think we're good enough to be in the top 4. I think that the group of players that we've got is a top 4 squad of players. It's not good enough to win the league. That's what I'm talking about. And who wants to just keep going for the top 4? It wasn't good enough, was it? It wasn't good enough when Arsene Wenger was here doing it, getting in the top 4 every year. That wasn't good enough. Why is it good enough now? I don't know. It's not. It shouldn't be. Anyway, the teams are coming out now. Arsenal are in the black kit tonight. We did, of course, wear the blue kit, didn't we? The other night against Brentford, we're in a black kit today. Brighton, of course, are in blue and white. So that's probably why we couldn't wear the blue or the red and white because of Brighton's colour clash. And that's why I suppose you have 3 kits, don't you? So you can make these changes when you have to. Steve says, what's wrong with Donkey 29? Well, he missed the game the other night again, probably this virus, and I think that's what's happened tonight. He's obviously not recovered, so he's out of the squad completely. I'd imagine that's the reason. Nathan says Tuchel's in the stands. He is. I just saw him. He should actually be in the dugout, shouldn't he, for Arsenal? We should have got him when we had the chance a couple of years ago, quite honestly. Top quality manager. And I think if we'd got him in a couple of years ago, we would now be in a position where we could win the league. And other things as well. And we would have probably already won something by now. But anyway, it's no good thinking about stuff like that because it's not going to change. we are not going to change our manager. We are all just going to have to suffer a little bit longer of muddling along, getting in the top 4, maybe putting in a half-hearted challenge to try and win the league and then falling away when the pressure's on. And that's going to be what's going to happen. Terry says it must be there to watch Brighton's players. Well, I don't think Brighton have got any English players, have they? They haven't in their whole team. So they haven't got any English players. So he's not there to watch them, is he? But to be fair, we've only got Declan and Ethan in our starting 11 that are English. So I don't know why he's here, actually. It's not like he's going to see a lot of his potential players, is it? Because there's none of them here. Obviously, Saka's injured anyway, and he's a natural pick straight away, isn't he? He's going to get in the team every time. Nathan says Tuchel's effective. Well, yeah, I think he's more than effective. I think he's a very good manager. I think tactically he's very good, and I think he knows how to win big trophies. His record proves that, doesn't it? And I'm sure England are going to get the benefit of that going forward because, you know, can we win a World Cup? I don't know. But with the group of players that we've got for England and with this manager, we're not going to have a better chance, are we? That's true. So let's see what happens. But anyway, you know, we didn't get Tommy Tuchel when we could have done. And England are going to benefit from that, and we're not. That midfield doesn't inspire me at all, does it? Marino, Jorginho and Rice. Does that inspire you? Doesn't inspire me. I mean, this is Brighton, who we should beat anyway, but Christ, I don't know. Gabriel says, let's get revenge. Well, I mean, revenge, but they didn't beat us, did they? They drew with us, obviously, at the Emirates. Justice for Rice. Well, I mean, it wasn't Brighton's fault, was it? It was Declan's own fault for being silly and getting himself sent off when he didn't need to. But this is never an easy game. I know last season we did end up winning 3-0 and we won 4-2 the season before, but neither of those 2 games were easy games. It was 0-0 the season before that. We lost the season before that here. So, you know, we know it's not easy. In fact, Brighton have only ever beaten us 6 times in history, and 3 of those times have been in the last, 4 or 5 years. So, you know, that's how much they have been a bit of a bogey team for us. But I say last year, we did beat them twice, and we did win this fixture 3-0. So there we go. Anyway, we are just about to kick off. Arsenal, I say, in the Lynx Africa black kit. David Ray, the goalkeeper, is all in a luminous yellow, which is quite nice. Or is it sort of limey sort of yellow, isn't it? No, well, lime's green, isn't it? It's a very light yellow anyway that you need sunglasses for. And Arsenal just done their huddle, which is all for show, isn't it? Because, you know, at the end of the day, if you're not prepared when you come out onto the pitch, what are you doing there? It's going to be Arsenal to kick off by the look of it. We'll be attacking the goal to our left in his first half at the Amex Stadium. Very nice little stadium down there on the south coast near Falmer. And it is going to be Arsenal to kick off, as we say. Gabriel Jesus is going to get us underway here at the Amex Stadium in Brighton. We are off. The ball goes all the way back to David Raya. And he goes long. We do the same kickoff every single game, don't we? In fact, most teams do the same there, don't they? Terry says, so he's still playing Rice with a broken toe. Is his broken toe still broken? I don't know. They tend to heal quite quickly, don't they? I don't know. Rajandra's with us as well. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you all. Terry saying hello to Rajandra's. And we also got to throw in the attacking third on this near side. Calafiore with it. Finds Declan Rice and his 9 toes and gets it back to Gabriel. Now it goes to William Saliba back inside the Arsenal half. And then we go back to David Raya. Exciting stuff indeed. Gabriel says, no Havertz or Odegaard, Saka injured. Well, yeah, I mean, Odegaard's on the bench. Havertz is just Havertz anyway, isn't he? So he's not like, you know, he's a big loss, is he? Let's be honest. Although he does pop up with some important goals from time to time. Saka's obviously the big miss, isn't he? As we've seen, the performances have been quite flat, haven't they, since Saka's been out. But anyway, we have won the last 2 games that he's missed. And we're looking at to win another one tonight here on the South Coast, where we have lost already this season, of course, to Bournemouth in a very poor performance from Arsenal. Anyway, Brighton have given the ball away to Thomas Partey, but that's not a great ball from Ethan Nwaneri, although Ricardo Calafiore is going to pick it up on his near side, finds Leandro Trossard on the edge of the penalty area. Dummy to take a shot and then plays it back to Gabriel. And Arsenal started on the front foot in this game, as we did the other night against Brentford. We did, of course, letting that early goal. Some poor defending, actually, as it turned out. Anyway, it's with Ethan Nwaneri over on that far side. And Arsenal just keep in good possession. Jorginho finds Thomas Partey now over on that far side. And it goes square in to William Saliba now. Gabriel. Brighton haven't really touched the ball yet. We've played 2 minutes. And Leandro Trossard, of course, knows this ground very, very well, doesn't he? Former Brighton player. And our other former Brighton player, Ben White, of course, is injured at this moment in time. Anyway, it's a free kick to Brighton on this near side. It's going to be the first time they've really had a chance to really get hold of the ball, isn't it? And I've got the ball back to the goalkeeper, Verbruggen. And the clearance says deflected out. It's going to be a throw over on that far side to Brighton. Just starting to settle now, the home team. Ball's now back with the goalkeeper, Verbruggen again. Not really put under any pressure by the Arsenal forwards. Gabriel Jesus now does go to close him down, and he just plays the ball simply out to that far side. And Brighton in no hurry to get the ball forward. They play some nice football, Brighton, don't they? Steve says Arteta would play Saka on one leg. Well, he's not, is he? Because he's only got one leg at the moment. He's not playing him, is he? Gabriel says, why not just ask Olmo to play? We don't want any more Spanish players, do we? We've got too many Spaniards already. Gabriel says, Arteta's going to be like, we're going to smoke every team in the Prem want to join us. Well, yeah, but only he'd be lying, wouldn't he? Anyway, Brighton are coming forward for the first time over on this near side. The cross comes in, but it's easily headed away by William Saliba. But Brighton have picked up the loose ball with a Dingra. And suddenly Brighton have just started to settle in this game. And it is Arsenal now looking a little bit more dangerous. Brighton in possession, Van Heck. Another Dutchman. They've got three of their 5 defensive players, including the goalkeeper, are Dutch. So they'll have some sort of understanding at the back, won't they, Brighton? Although they do tend to concede a few goals. You know, they are coming forward now for the first real time with any intent over on that far side. Brighton building a bit of play, Arsenal keeping a good defensive shape. You have to say, if it wasn't for our great defensive record, we wouldn't be in a position that we're in the league. There's no doubt about that. It is a good platform to build on. We've dealt with that ball forward as well. Thomas Partey did well, actually. Now it's with Jorginho. And again, Arsenal happy, of course, to go backwards. Leandro Trossard does the same and plays it into Jorginho midway inside the Arsenal half, very central. And that's out of on that far side. Thomas Partey crosses the halfway line, brings the ball forward with intent for Arsenal. Plays it out to Ethan Nwaneri right over on that far touchline. Plays a cross in, but it hits the first defender. Declan Rice picks up the loose ball, gets it back from Thomas Partey. Declan Rice moving forward into midfield, fires. Leandro Trossard takes a shot on the turn. It's hit defender. And Brighton now can launch a counter-attack with João Pedro. Did score the goal, of course, at the Emirates that brought Brighton a point back in August. That was the first game we hadn't won this season. Anyway, Brighton coming forward again over on that far side, continuing this attack with a Dingra. Cross comes into this near side, but it's going to be dealt with easily enough by Gabriel Jesus. And he chests the ball to Calafiore. Now it's back with Gabriel. Calafiore again pings it in to the feet there of Jorginho, and he managed to get the ball out. This is nice little neat and tidy play from Arsenal on the edge of the penalty area. Now we can maybe break the Brighton press with Thomas Partey over on that far side. Plays it square to Jorginho. Now it's with Calafiore, the other Italian, plays it out this near side to Leandro Trossard. Arsenal have played this well. If we can get an opportunity out of this, it will be a good bit of play. Trossard's cross is quite deep, but there's no Arsenal player attacking it. And Brighton can clear it over. Not very well, actually. It comes to Jorginho midway inside the Brighton half, brings it forward, fires Trossard on this near side, plays it back to Calafiore, cuts in field. Jorginho touches it back to Gabriel. A lot of Arsenal possession here, just on the edge of the Brighton penalty area, but no real penetration as yet. We've played 6 minutes. Brighton 0, Arsenal 0. We're going to play that to the far side. Ethan Nwaneri goes through a couple of challenges, goes down. The referee says play on. I don't think it was a foul. And now Brighton can look to come forward over on the far side. There's a race on for Thomas Partey. Easily wins that and gets the ball back to David Raya. Made that big save, didn't he? The other night, David Raya when it was 1-0 to Brentford. It was his mistake, actually, wasn't it? Initially, when he pushed the ball, we let it go through his hands, and he just managed to get it clear. And the fact we equalised so soon after that, that was a turning point in that game, wasn't it? And had that gone in at 2-0 down, we'd have lost that game. I don't have any much doubt about that. And that proved to be a big moment in one of many big moments that David Raya has had since he's come into the team. And, you know, the same fans that sing Arteta's praises are the same fans that thought Aaron Ramsdale was better. So, and people listen to them. A lot of people, the influencers on social media, they were the same. Oh, what are we doing to Aaron Ramsdale? Why have we bought David Raya? And they're the ones who say Mikel Arteta's the best manager in the world. Martin Odegaard's the best player in the world. And they're also the same people that said Aaron Ramsdale was the best goalkeeper out of the two of them. They even said he was the best goalkeeper in the Premier League. So why do people listen to them? I do not know. Use your own eyes and you'll see. You know, William Saliba, who there's no doubt is a exceptional defender. Gabriel, who may not be so good on the ball, but he's very effective at defending and attacking corners. Anyway, Brighton have conceded a foul there. It was Trossard who was fouled by Estepanian. And he's going to be a free kick to Arsenal halfway right on his near side. Calafiore takes it, finds William Saliba, just touches it off to Thomas Partey. Gratzby was heading, my friend. Good to see you. He says, hi there, mates. What do you think about today's game? Unfortunately, I have a feeling of defeat. I see 4-1 to Brighton. Hopefully, I'm wrong. Well, 4-1. That's a big scoreline, that. I mean, it's going to be a tough game. Well, it started off a tough game. We haven't really got going yet. I don't think Brighton are going to win 4-1, if I'm honest. But who knows? Maybe they will. But so far, it's 0-0. Hasn't really been a chance at either end yet. So it is looking set to be a tight game. I say Brighton haven't won for a while, but they have drawn a lot of games, especially lately. A draw wouldn't surprise me today, if I'm honest. A draw really wouldn't surprise me. But we'll see. You know, so far, nothing's really happened. It's quite a dull game, if we're totally honest. And Brighton trying to come forward now. But Arsenal did manage to clear that away with William Saliba. Now it's with Mikel Merino in midfield. Jorginho plays the ball forward. It's a good ball as well. Gabriel Jesus is in. Is he onside? He is onside. That's a good save by the Brighton goalkeeper, Van Bruggen. And was he offside? He was offside. Or was he offside? Yes, he was offside. He wouldn't have counted anyway. The linesman's flag actually stayed down. He did miss the chance, but he would have been offside in any case. It wouldn't have counted. Terry says, if we use our eyes, why do fans think 29 is good? Well, I don't know. These are the same fans who think 29 is good that thought Aaron Ramsdale was good. And I think Mikel Arteta is good. But there you go. I think people want to believe it, right? And I kind of get that. I do get that. You know, we all want to believe that things are better than what they are, not just in football, but in life, don't you? You don't want to believe that things are bad. And I understand people wanting to believe that, you know, I've heard so many people say the trophies are coming. And it's good that people want to believe that. But let's be real. There's no signs that the trophies are coming. There's no signs at all. There hasn't been any signs so far. But I say we've got a big week of cup football, so who knows? Anyway, Brighton are coming forward now, looking dangerous here. This ball played up the near side. This is the first time Brighton have really threatened, and they won a corner as well off Calafiore. That was Joel Veltman there getting forward from fullback. Another Dutchman in this Brighton side, and his cross has given Brighton the first corner of the game on this near side. Brighton's right, our left. And we need to defend the corner. Van Heck's gone up. He's got some height there, hasn't he? The big Dutch defender. And Brighton have got a few bodies in the box here. They've got just a couple on the edge of the box as well. What's the corner going to be like? Whipped in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Oh, it almost fell to a Brighton player, but Arsenal have scrambled it away. And Ethan Waneri tried to lead a counter-attack, but overran the ball. And Brighton are now coming forward again. This is a good spell from the Seagulls here at the Amex Stadium. Looking dangerous here for the first time. And the ball played out that far side. This is a good play from Brighton, but Ethan Waneri does better there. It was a poor touch from him, actually. We had a chance for a counter-attack. He overran the ball. Brighton regained possession, and could have been a dangerous moment for us, but we got away with that one. And Brighton are now back in possession, but they're going back all the way to the goalkeeper, Van Broek. It's a good save from Jesus just a moment ago, but the goal wouldn't have counted. He was offside. Arsenal's recent informed striker. He got 6 goals in the last 4 games after not scoring for about 4 years before that. That kind of sums up Gabriel Jesus' Arsenal career, really. He's been a bit of a streak player, hasn't he? He'll get lots of goals in a short space of time and then he won't score for ages. So no doubt the same thing's going to happen now. I think he's had his little run. I'll be surprised if he scores again for a while. But anyway, who knows? Anyway, Arsenal got some defending to do here, which Gabriel just about manages to do. Veltman now in possession though for Brighton. Plays it back to Van Heck. Grat says, the season is far from over. And we have the FA Cup and Champions League as well. Are they still in that beer commercial cup? Well, yeah, that's the semi-final. First leg is on Tuesday against Newcastle, of course, at the Emirates. Newcastle in great form at the moment, as we know. They won again today against Tottenham. Bit of a scrappy game that was. But, yeah, Newcastle, the semi-final. And, yes, you know, we need to win a trophy. Mikel Arteta needs to win a trophy this season desperately. And if it is the Carabao Cup, if that's what he wins, then I suppose it's a start, isn't it? You know, and some of the most successful managers in English football, have their first trophy was the League Cup in its various different forms. Of course, George Graham going back in the day, and more recently, Jose Mourinho, Pep Guardiola, their first trophy in English football was the League Cup. So, you know, let's not completely write it off and underestimate the importance of it. If we can win the Carabao Cup this season, it's a platform to build on, isn't it? And from that, maybe more things will grow. Maybe the confidence that we can win a trophy will suddenly come through. Who knows? That's what we've got to hope for. But obviously, Liverpool's still in it. And obviously, they're going to be massive favourites to beat Spurs over 2 legs. And they'd be difficult to beat in a final if we were to get there. But it's going to be difficult to beat Newcastle in the semi-final first, the form that they're in. Comp285 says, agree, I'll also be surprised if Jesus scores. Well, he'll probably score again. It just won't be for a while, will it? But there you go. Gabriel says, knew it was going to be a boring half. Well, I had a feeling it was going to be a boring game looking at our team because it just doesn't inspire me, this midfield and attack. There's nothing on it to make you think, wow, can't wait to see what they're going to do. But, you know, this is what we've got after 5 years of Mikel Arteta. So there we are. This is a sort of game where we're going to have to try and grind it out, aren't we? We're going to have to try and grind out the win. And it probably is not going to be pretty. It hasn't been pretty so far. And we just need to find a way to win. And that's what, you know, successful teams do. They regularly do that, don't they? They grind out results and find a way to win. And that's what we're going to have to do, because there's no doubt that this is a very pedestrian Arsenal team. You know, with our only 2 real creative players, if you like. And I even use that word lightly with Martin Ødegaard, because I don't think he's that creative. Everything goes through him, but what does he actually create? How many assists has he got? How many chances does he create? Do you know what I mean? So, I don't know. Obviously, Saka is the main man, as we know, and he's going to be out for quite a while. So, we're going to have to find a way. And today, in particular, we're going to have to find a way tonight. But this game so far hasn't got going yet, but suddenly now we've got a chance at Ethan Nwaneri on that far side. He's got a lot of space into the penalty area. Oh, and he scores from nothing. Ethan Nwaneri's got his first Premier League goal. Or was it his second Premier League goal? Anyway, he's got a goal. It is 1-0 to Arsenal on the counter-attack, taking that Saka role and actually taking it exactly where it needs to go, because that's the sort of goal that Saka has scored many, many times with his left foot from that right-hand side. It was a good counter-attack from Arsenal. It was a nice play actually over on that far side. And it was a lovely ball played through. I think it was Mikel Merino actually played it through to Ethan Nwaneri, running into the penalty line. He's got it onto his left foot and just fired it under the goalkeeper. Maybe could have done better, but it doesn't matter. Arsenal lead with the first real shot of the game. And it is Ethan Nwaneri. So that means only one thing. That's what I mean, finding a way to win. And we found a way to score a goal. Gabriel says, told you he's going to cook. Well, he may well do. He may well do. He certainly took that goal well. It's actually a second Premier League goal. He scored against, was it Crystal Palace? Steve Stewart there says, great goal. Yeah, it was a great, well taken goal, wasn't it? And actually, it's after 16 minutes, which I think was the same. Was that not the same time that we conceded the other night against Brentford? And then, of course, we came back to get an equaliser and go on and win that game. But we've took the lead today. And Ethan Waneri is showing his quality there. And he's got about 6 goals this season now, hasn't he? Because he's got a few in the Carabao Cup as well, hasn't he? He's doing well. Mark C says no VAR needed to verify that. No, there wasn't. There was no reason. He was miles onside. I don't think he needed to look at it, did they? Terry says another Arteta non-signing player saving his job. Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, a player that he's had not really much say on, has he? Really. Anyway. Arsenal have got the lead in a game that hasn't really got going yet, but I said it's all about finding a way to win, isn't it? And we've certainly found a way to get ourselves in front. Brighton are back in possession. They just had a reasonably good spell, didn't they, Brighton, without creating anything. And then they're coming forward again. Everyone that fast, always a mistake at the back by Thomas Partey. Now Brighton have got a player over. Shot from distance comes in. It's blocked by William Saliba. And it's going to be a corner. It was a dinger there with the breakaway. It was a mistake by Thomas Partey. He should have cut that ball out and he didn't. And the shot came in there from a dinger, which got a deflection off William Saliba. Good defending. Rajandra says, well, the team are saying their talk on the pitch. Well, at the moment they are, yeah, because we're winning. And that's fair enough, isn't it? Anyway, it's a corner to Brighton again, the second corner that they've had. We managed to deal with the last one. Well, it was quite a decent corner as it turned out, but we managed to get it away. This one is a bit one flat to near post, flicked on, but flicked away. And again, Ethan Waneri trying to launch a counter attack, but he doesn't win that ball. Well, there's another mistake at the back. And Brighton have another chance, and Gabriel defends it well, and Arsenal got away with one there. Someone missed their kick inside the penalty area. I'm not sure who that was. It was Jorginho. Completely missed the ball. It fell to a dinger, but he slipped as he went to shoot. And that was a bit of a let-off there for Arsenal. We've now got a free kick. There's a foul on David Raya in the aftermath of that. But yeah, that was 2 mistakes in quick succession at the back there for Arsenal. Thomas Partey with the first one presented a dinger with an opportunity. And then the second one there, again, it was a dinger the ball came to, but he slipped as he hit the shot. But Brighton will take a little bit of encouragement from that, won't they? Because they've not really created anything of their own as yet. You know, Arsenal trying to come forward now through midfield, but Trossard has been bullied off the ball. And now Brighton have got an opportunity here on this near side. They play some nice football, don't they, when they've got the ball. It is João Pedro on this near side. He's a very good player. I say he did score the equaliser against us at the Emirates, didn't he? Brighton now in possession again. Ball from Igor out to that far side. Thomas Partey is being tested in that right back position by a Dingra again. And the cross almost came in there, but for Mr. Panion. But Brighton have kept possession well here. And it's Igor Julio again, the Brazilian. This is a good spell of possession from Brighton. Can they create a chance from it? A dinger over on that far side. Fancies his chances against Thomas Partey. That's a decent cross. It's a free header. It wasn't a good header. And in the end, David Raya has managed to make a save, and he's then fouled on the follow-up by O'Reilly. Again, Dinger's done well. Gets the cross in. It's a good cross. There's a free header there. Gabriel slipped. And it was a free header from Gruder, the German. Didn't get any power on it at all. And it was easy for David Raya, and O'Reilly it was then who was trying to come in on the end of it. Collided with David Raya. He's now gone down, and that's a bit of a worry. I'm sure he's going to be okay. I'm sure he's just winded. But obviously, you don't want to see your goalkeeper going down, do you? But there we go. Gabriel says, you just know that Arsenal will park that bus. Oh, yeah, they're going to park the bus. There's no doubt about that. We'll definitely be parking that bus. Terry says, I just noticed Brighton have got a few players missing. Yeah, Brighton have got a few players missing. Yeah, everybody's got a few players missing, haven't they? You know, everybody has. And that's where it goes, isn't it? El Loco says, and just like that, Saka has lost his position in the first team. No, he hasn't. He hasn't. Stuart says, glad Tottenham lost. To be honest with you, I'm not even that bothered. In a way, Tottenham losing to Newcastle wasn't necessarily a good thing for us because Newcastle are on a bit of a roll at the minute. They've got confidence. And had they lost today, Newcastle, I would have thought that would have been a plus for us going into Tuesday night, personally. And Tottenham are not a threat anyway, so who cares if Tottenham win or lose? I'm not even bothered because they're just rubbish. So I don't think that was really a good result for us, if I'm honest. I'd have maybe preferred Tottenham to have won, just to end Newcastle's run. Then they come to us on a bit of a downer, and that might make a big difference because it's going to be a really tough game to choose, isn't it? Really tough game. And, you know, Newcastle, are flying at the minute, aren't they? Rajendra says, players are slipping on the pitch, need to check their foot. There has been a few players slipping, actually, you're right. Not sure... Yeah, is it a footwear issue? Yeah, maybe it is. There's been a few actually on both teams, hasn't there? Gabriel slipped just a moment ago. Adingra slipped when he just went to have a shot in this Arsenal penalty area. Have they overwatered the Arsenal penalty area before the game? Well, then they wouldn't have known which end Arsenal were going to be defending in that first half, would they? I suppose. But it does seem to be down that end of the pitch, doesn't it? That they're slipping mainly. Anyway, David Raya's okay again. He's back on his feet, takes the free kick, and the ball's going to run through to the Brighton goalkeeper, is it? No, it isn't. Because Van Heck hooks it forward up his near side to Veltman. And Brighton actually had a good spell here since we scored, sorry. Nathan says, looking at the depth of Brighton's squad really highlights just how strong the Premier League is these days. I mean, see, I don't know. I kind of think it isn't. You know, the fact you've got Nottingham Forest in the top four, the fact you've got, you know, Bournemouth doing so well this season, you know, Brighton doing well, little clubs like that are doing well. Is that because the Premier League's stronger, or is it actually because it's weaker? I'm not sure. I can't quite decide. It's, you know, I don't know. You could say that the smaller clubs are now stronger, which makes the league stronger as a whole, which it does. But is that really the case? Or is it the fact that the bigger teams aren't quite as good as they were? So that's what's closed the gap. I'm not sure, actually. I'm not sure. El Loco says, I thought that ex-players ain't supposed to celebrate against their old side. Didn't someone tell Trossard? Well, Trossard didn't score, did he, to be fair? But yeah, I mean, I don't like that. I mean, I think that, you know, if you score a goal, you should celebrate it, because scoring a goal is the hardest thing to do in football, isn't it? And it doesn't matter if it's against a team you used to play for or not. And let's face it, most players leave a team, leave a club because it hasn't worked out for them, usually. And I suppose the situation, I mean, with Trossard, I suppose he's left to a bigger club. He's probably got no beef with Brighton, has he? I wouldn't imagine. So I don't know. But I always think if you score a goal, celebrate a goal. Christ, that's what football's about, isn't it? We don't see enough goals, do we? So, you know, it's, you know what I mean? It's you should celebrate your goal, definitely. Whoever you score against. I mean, if it was me scoring against my old club, I'd probably celebrate more. But, you know, I don't see why you shouldn't. I say it's not easy to score a goal, is it? So let's enjoy the goals. Let's not think, oh, I can't celebrate. I don't want to hurt anyone because I used to play for the team. No. Steve says Forest won't be top 5 by February. Well, who knows? They're going well at the minute, aren't they? They're playing really well. So why not? They haven't got nothing else to play for. One game a week. I don't see why they can't. Colonel's with us there, my friend. Goon Army, indeed. Gabriel says, like you won't see teams like Real Sociedad or Valladolid in the Liga top 4. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Anyway, Arsenal trying to come forward from that free kick, but it's defended actually by João Pedro. Nate says, you remember how to buy Hove for City? Well, yeah, I was there at that game. That was crazy, wasn't it? Terry says, Grot, you're not wrong. Oh, what did I miss Grot's comment, did I? What did he say before? Oh, I see about the season being over in February. Well, let's hope not, because we've got a big January, haven't we? A lot of big cup games to come, as well as some big league games. Well, North London Derby, of course, to come. That's our next Premier League game, isn't it? So it's a big cup week this Tuesday. Of course, we'll be here. Arsenal against Newcastle, first leg of the Carabao Cup semi-final from the Emirates. That is going to be a big game. against in-form Newcastle. And then, of course, next weekend, the FA Cup, Manchester United. The WSL is, of course, back next week as well. Well, not the WSL, the Arsenal Women's are back in the FA Cup action. Of course, playing Bristol City at Meadow Park. I think those two games are both on the same day next weekend, aren't they? We'll check that half time because I can't remember now. You know, Veltman now for Brighton on this near side. They've responded well to going behind, haven't they, Brighton? They've had one or two little half chances in this game. They could have maybe found themselves level, but they're trying to come forward again. But Jorginho wins that ball. Whoever the ball played for by Igor. That's a good-looking ball over on that far side. Just ran away there from a Dingra. You can see Brighton are trying to attack Thomas Partey over on that right back position, aren't they? They're trying to get a Dingra one-on-one with him as often as they can. They feel as though that might be the weakness. And he's done quite well at Dingra so far, but Partey's held his own. He did make one mistake a little bit earlier, but we got away with that one. And Arsenal just won the ball back in midfield, and then Mikel Merino's been fouled, and it's going to be a free kick to Arsenal. Colonel says, upsetting, we couldn't be in a better position to compete. We need to win Carabao Cup and FA Cup though as Phil League if too far gone. Well, yeah, I don't even necessarily think that. I just think our squad's not good enough. The squad isn't deep enough to win the Premier League. And even if we were in front at the minute, even if we were ahead in the league, I still don't think we would have been strong enough to hold on and win it with the current squad that we've got. You know, this season it seems to be, and it's not just Arsenal, is it? There seems to be injuries happening a lot this season. You know, Man City have got a lot of injury problems, as we said. Brighton have got some, obviously, players out. Everybody seems to be suffering from injuries this season. And our squad's not deep enough with quality to cope with that. So even if we were ahead in the league now, I still wouldn't be confident we would go on and win it. Because I think the last two seasons, when we have been in front, I think we had a stronger squad than we've got now. So, and we wasn't able to hold on then, were we? So you're right, the league is probably gone. I don't really want to rule it out completely yet because there's still a lot of football to be played, half a season, in fact. And if Liverpool do get some injuries as well, who knows? We just have to keep trying to get as many positive results as we can and be in a position where if Liverpool do slip up, we're ready to take advantage of it. But, you know, Trossard's ball, it's a good ball, actually, from this near side, headed away at the far post by Estepanian, and Brighton can't get out at a minute. This is a bit better from Arsenal. It's been a bit sloppy since we scored. We've now played nearly half an hour. It's still 1-0. Neighbour says, what minute are you on? I'm on 29 and a half, just gone. Terry says, who's Brighton's number 20? Making some powerful runs through our midfield. Mind you, it's only Marino and J20. Yeah, their number 20 is Carlos Balba, who is a very good player, Cameroonian. They've got some good players, Brighton. They've always had good players, haven't they? You know, many of them have gone on to, you know, moved on to other bigger and better clubs, haven't they? And they still keep churning them out, don't they? Their scouting network is one of the best in the country, isn't it? Reminds me a bit of Southampton back in the day when they had a similar thing, didn't they? They used to sell all their players to Liverpool, didn't they, at one time, Southampton? Obviously, we bought a couple as well, some of their younger players. And Brighton have kind of taken on that. It must be a South Coast thing, mustn't it? And there's a mistake there from Declan Rice, gives the ball away in midfield, but Brighton can't make the most of it. Thomas Partey steps in and out with the goal scorer, Ethan Waneri, but he's given the ball away. And here we go. Gabriel says, well, Liverpool doesn't have bad injuries compared to Arsenal or City. If Salah gets injured, they're cooked because Núñez can't score. Yeah, but you say that, but it's how players step up when they're needed. You know, when you're just coming off the bench and you're not playing regular, and you know you're not going to play regular, it's difficult to get a rhythm. But if Salah was injured and Núñez had to play every week, he'd probably start scoring goals because he's a good player. And he'd get a rhythm going. So we don't know, do we? Obviously, Salah being injured for Liverpool will be a massive blow because he's been the best player in the Premier League by an absolute country mile this season. But quite often it happens where a player's in the groove. They're the ones who don't seem to get injured, do they? It's just the way it seems to go. Players in good form quite often don't seem to get injured as much for whatever reason. I don't know what that reason is. That just seems to be the way. Well, of course, Saka's just got an injury, but we know that that's just on the back of the fact that he's played too much football for the last 4 years. barely had a break, hasn't he? With the tournaments for England as well, and of course all the games he's played for Arsenal every week. That's why he's got injured. But often it's the players in form that seems to carry them through and stop them getting injured, doesn't it? But anyway, I'm not worried too much about Liverpool's injuries. We can't control that. All we can do is try and win our games and see where we are. But yeah, I tend to think the Cups are our best chance of some silverware this season, which we've got to win. If we win nothing this season and Mikel Arteta's here next season, we all might as well give up, because it shows the club have got no ambition whatsoever. Grat says, when the women are back in action, I've seen nothing about any broadcast in the near future. Yeah, and it's at the next weekend, the FA Cup against Bristol City. I think the game's on Saturday. I can't remember now. I'll check at half time. But yeah, it'll be this coming week, next weekend coming up. The Arsenal women are back. Terry says that's because Liverpool don't play injured players week in, week out. No, they do rotate their team a little bit more than we do. Gabriel says, well, UEFA is just greedy by increasing the number of matches in the Champions League just because they want money. Well, exactly, yeah, but we always knew that was coming. It's the Super League, isn't it? That's what it is. It is the Super League that we all protested about. No one cares anymore because they've called it the Champions League. And that's what everybody wants to be in the Champions League, don't they? It's what it's all about. A shot from Brighton, it takes a deflection and David Raya's got to scramble across his penalty area, keep it in, prevent it from going out for a corner, which he does. It was O'Reilly's shot there for Brighton. And David Raya hasn't really had too many problems in this game, has he? Nathan says, I'm surprised Liverpool have not tied Salah down to Lukaku. Well, I don't think it's from lack of trying. I think obviously negotiations must be going on, you would imagine. But anyway, Arsenal just giving the ball away, inviting pressure in inside the penalty. It's a chance for Brighton. It's going to be 1-1. Oh, he's missed. Again, he slipped as he took the shot. I think that's a dinger again. I think he's definitely got the wrong boots on there. That was an absolute sitter there for Brighton. Terrible defending from Arsenal. Gave the ball away. It was Jorginho. The ball came to a dinger and he did slip as he shot and he's put it wide from 12 yards. That was a big, big chance. He was stretching a little bit. Wow, that is a big, big miss that. Brighton should be level. And he's put that wide. That's a terrible, terrible miss. Gabriel says, oh my, how did he miss that? Well, I don't know how he missed it. He did lose his balance a little bit, but he was always leaning back anyway. Terry says, Arsenal v Bristol. Is it Sunday at 12? That's right. And then the men's game's on later, isn't it? In the afternoon. So I have a busy Sunday, won't I, next week? But anyway, it's all good fun, isn't it? It's all good fun. But no, I'm sure Liverpool are working on a contract with Salah. But let's see. Gabriel said, I thought Brighton, well, I thought they had scored. I didn't think he could miss. I didn't think it was possible to miss a chance like that. Pretty much a whole goal to aim at, and he's put it wide. We got a bit of a let off there. But Brighton have been playing well in the last 10 minutes, and Arsenal struggling a little bit to get the ball away. And that's a foul there on Jorginho by Balba, of course, the player Terry was mentioning before, who's had a good game. He's a good player. A lot of big clubs looking at him. It'll be another one, won't he? Of Brighton that's going to go to a bigger club. And unfortunately, that's what Brighton have to do. They'll never be able to progress, will they? They had a great season. They got themselves in Europe last season. Of course, their manager's moved on as well. Although, to be fair, their new manager's done well, hasn't he? The German. He's done really well. So, and Brighton have a habit of doing that. They're a very well-run club, aren't they? And they're like the blueprint, aren't they, for the smaller clubs with not the money to compete at the very top end of the league, but how to run your club properly. And, another example of that, that Bournemouth are doing the same, aren't they, as well? I mean, what a season they're having. Anyway, Arsenal now just looking to try and get a bit more possession into the last 10 minutes of the first half. Not been a great Arsenal performance, but we've got the lead. And in these away games, that's so important, isn't it? Because it's never easy here. William Saliba now finds the goal scorer, Ephraim Waneri, over on that far side. Tries to go around the outside, but can't get past his player. The ball's gone out. There's a corner to Arsenal. The first corner that we've had, Estepinian there couldn't keep that in. Colonel says there, I think you can change competitions if you improve it. But lately they have been making the competition worse. Champions League and the FA Cup are prime examples of taking away replays of FA Cups, lost its nostalgia. Yeah, I agree with you. And I think the League Cup as well, I don't think that's got that used to be a really, really big competition, didn't it? And now it just seems like an irrelevance. And it's a shame, actually, isn't it? Because I agree, they don't make changes for the benefit of the game. They make changes for more money. More games doesn't make better football. It makes worse football, probably. You're better off having less games, aren't you? Less is more. And I think that's true. Now the corner comes in. It's a poor one, hits the near post and goes out for a goal kick to Brighton. It was Ethan Waneri's corner there. You see, it's all about the deliveries, isn't it? That delivery was really poor. And that's how we score so many goals. It's to do with the deliveries, isn't it? Without Declan Rice taking them or Saka. Declan Rice didn't take that one. The wrong side for him. Mark C says, Brighton owe their existence to Liam Brady. Yeah, they do. You're right. He had a big part to play, didn't he, back in the day? Nathan says, so it was Basuma, then Casado, now Balba. Some I've said exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Brighton have done that really well, haven't they? Oh, and the goalkeeper there has just left Jesus on his backside inside the penalty area there. That was a bit cheeky, wasn't it? Little drag back there by the goalkeeper. Then Dutch can play football, can't they? But no, Nathan, you're right. Yeah, they've got a history of getting some great players. They're just giving the ball away. It's a chance for 2-0. Jesus touches it back to Trossard. Oh, he cut back. We could have maybe shot Jesus now. Is he going to try a shot? Trossard now on the edge of the box. Does the shot. It's deflected. It's going to be another corner to Arsenal over on this near side. And a chance to make it 2-0. Terry says, you're welcome. Great. Anything for my second favourite Swede. Stina comes first. Of course, yeah, Stina's number one Swede, absolutely. And we may be able to see Stina, of course, in action next Sunday when the women are back in FA Cup action. Anyway, it's a corner to Arsenal here at Brighton. It is Brighton 0, Arsenal 1. We have played 39 minutes here on the South Coast. Gret says, yeah, well, if she comes first, I'm glad to be second. I think Ag might be second, actually. Maybe you're third, Gret. No disrespect or anything, but maybe you're third. We'll see. Anyway, Declan Rice is going to take this corner. So this one might actually be slightly better than the previous one from the other side. Let's see. Declan Rice has set up a lot of goals from corners. That one's a bit flat. His header comes in, edge of the 6-yard box. It was a free header. Two Arsenal players got in each other's way, in actual fact. And I think it was, is it William Saliba headed that over, or was it Gabriel? And just on cue, Ag's turned up. There we go. Look at that. Fantastic. Or was it Mikel Merino, actually? He collided with his own player. In fact, 3 Arsenal players went down in a heap there. Gabriel slipped over. And in the end, it was Mikel Merino attacking that ball. And he's headed it over the top. Got a free run there. In fact, I think it was Gabriel Jesus got the header in, actually. El Loco says, looks like Arteta is resting Odegaard for Newcastle. Well, I think Odegaard's been injured. Been ill, sorry. I think that's what... Oh, excuse me. I think he's been ill just as I start sneezing. So maybe I've got whatever Odegaard's got. So, yeah, I think that's more the reason. But, yeah, obviously playing him today probably ain't going to be a good idea with Tuesday's game in mind, which is a big game. It is a big game. There's no doubt about that. Anyway, Brighton are coming forward now. And Brighton are playing pretty well, actually. I think they are. But also won the ball back in midfield. And now, Brighton have won it back there. Again, that's Balba there. That's a good ball as well through, but good defending from William Saliba. Read that well. And also won a free kick. I think that's going to be a yellow card, is it, there for... But Anthony Taylor says, no, it isn't a yellow card. But Balba there again did well, didn't he, in midfield for Brighton? And it is going to be a free kick to Arsenal anyway, is the result of all of that. It's a long ball forward up this near side, but it's Van Heck with the header for Brighton, clears it away. Arsenal do pick up the ball with Calafield, but he's just lost it. And now Brighton can try and come forward again. João Pedro, the dancing feet of the Brazilian. And then he's fouled by Gabriel Jesus. He was just screaming for a yellow card for the Brighton player who committed a foul. Now he's committed a foul and he's not wanting a yellow card for that one, which is slightly unusual, isn't it? Anyway, Griggs, if I said to my friend, he says, hello all, fell asleep and missed most of the first half. Glad to see we're winning as I live in hope. Well, we all live in hope, my friend. I mean, it hasn't been great, if I'm totally honest with you. It's been okay. It's a good goal that we scored. Ethan Waneri with it, took it well. But Brighton have played quite well without creating too much. El Loco says, Brighton are in it for the money. Their best player always gets sold. Trossard, McAllister, Cassette. Well, their best players get sold because they have to do that to survive. You know, they can't afford to turn down big money for good players. And that's their model, isn't it? As a small club, their model is to, you know, find players for very small amounts of money, then sell them on for a profit so that they can then survive in the Premier League. That's what they're doing. So I wouldn't say they're in it for the money. They're in it because they want to survive in the Premier League and grow as a club, which is what they're doing. And they're doing a great job of it, aren't they? I say they're the blueprint for the smaller clubs in the Premier League, aren't they? How to come out of the Championship and what you need to do to survive. Yes, you've got to have a great scouting network. You've got to know what you're doing in terms of football, which our owners don't seem to be bothered about. But the Brighton owners certainly do. And if we had owners like that at our club, because of the size of our club, the money we've got, we would have a lot of success, wouldn't we? But we have owners who don't care enough about our club and about winning and about being successful. They just care about the money, our owners, whereas Brighton actually care about growing the club. And that's what they have to do to do that. And they're doing it the right way. I've got nothing but respect for Brighton. As Southampton used to be run the same sort of way, didn't they? And it was the same with them. You know, Brighton are coming forward now. They're having a good spurt at the end of this first half. That cross comes in, but it's too close to David Raya. Comfortable for the Arsenal goalkeeper. He doesn't make many mistakes, does he? In fact, apart from the one the other night that he got away with that save, I can't remember the last time he's made a mistake. David Raya, he just doesn't make mistakes, does he? He may not be the most spectacular of goalkeepers, but he doesn't need to be. His positioning is really good. His handling is really good, and he doesn't really make mistakes. And that's what you want from a goalkeeper, don't you? Aaron Ramsdale was very erratic, wasn't he? He could make 2 or 3 brilliant saves, and he'd let in stupid goals. Whereas David Raya is very consistent, isn't he? He hardly ever makes mistakes at all. Terry says, I can see why Newcastle got rid of Mikel Merino, of course, who did play for Newcastle, did he, briefly a few years ago. I wonder if he'll play against them on Tuesday night in the semi-final, where you do feel we need a victory, certainly at least, I think at least a couple of goal victory, really, because we have trouble up at St James's Park, don't we, these days? But let's see. Our away form's been good recently at some difficult places. And today's another example of that. We are winning 1-0. Of course, not even half time yet, although it will be very, very shortly. We are into the last few seconds of the 45. There'll be a couple of minutes of stoppage time, maybe 3. David Raya was down for a bit, wasn't he? Earlier in the half. You know, Arsenal trying to come forward again over on that far side. It's going to be 4 minutes. Declan Rice into the area. Can he get the ball across? He can't, because it's scrambled away by Balba again. And it's going to be a corner though to Arsenal. Finishing the half on top. Ag says, very important hockey match tonight. Finland against Sweden, Junior World Championships. Oh, wow, that sounds good. Nathan says, concentration levels of a melon. Aggie says, Alexander Isak, hot indeed. He is. He's a brilliant player, isn't he? Greg says, when you get to my age, you need an afternoon nap. And when you're asleep, she can't nag at you. Well, yeah, that's true. Although you might get nagged at to wake up and do something, mightn't you? Do some work around the house. So you got away with it there, my friend. So that was good. Well done. Anyway, I also got a corner here, the very last few minutes here of the first half. There's a yellow corner for time wasting for Ethan Waneri for taking too long to take this corner. And time wasting has become one of Arsenal's new tactics, hasn't it? That everybody loves Mikel Arteta for. Not just Mikel Arteta, his coaching staff. It's one of the reasons why it does my head in. Can't be doing with time wasting. Get on with the game. Do you know what I mean? Take the corner, mate. Now he's got booked. He's still not in no rush to take it, is he? Now he does, and it's terrible. It doesn't even beat the first defender. Well, that was worth getting a yellow card for, mate, wasn't it? Christ almighty. Anyway, Brighton now have got a chance of a counter-attack up this near side. looking a little bit dangerous. I've got 3 or 4 players around the ball. Calafiori steps in. He's made a mistake. Oh, the referee's given a free kick. I'm not sure if that was a foul on Calafiori. He didn't look very comfortable there, did he, the Italian? Looked like he got caught in possession a little bit there. It was Gruder, the German, there, took the ball off him. Referee's given a free kick. I think we was a bit lucky there. I think we're a little bit lucky there. But anyway, we'll take it, won't we? We've had a couple of little lucky moments in this game. Adingra slipping at a crucial moment, could have scored. We'll have to have little bits of luck in our favour, and that certainly was there, because I wasn't sure that was a foul. That was a foul on Calafiori. I thought he just got the ball taken off him. I mean, it was a challenge. Anyway, nothing came of that free kick. Brighton are back in possession, and the ball goes back to the goalkeeper, Verbruggen. He made that good save from Jesus, although I don't think that goal would have counted. That was when it was still 0-0, of course. Anyway, we've played, 2.5 minutes of the 4 of stoppage time at the end of this first half. So we are coming up towards half time. And it's been quite an even first half. Do Arsenal deserve to be in front? I don't know. It's been an even game. A draw would, at this stage, would probably be about right. Anyway, Arsenal picked up possession with Ethan Nwaneri on that far side, but Thomas Partey now wins possession again, and the Brighton fans claiming there was a foul, and the referee Anthony Taylor has now given a free kick, but I'm not sure if he's given it to Brighton as he here. João Pedro, the Brighton captain, is just talking to the referee there. Oh yeah, Declan Rice it was who committed the foul. Anyway, the ball runs through to the Brighton goalkeeper. And now Brighton coming forward. This will probably be one of the last attacks of this first half. We've played 3.5 minutes of the 4 of stoppage time. If Brighton get the ball forward, they might get one more opportunity to score. But I don't think they're going to be able to. One thing Arsenal do well is when the opposition have got the ball, we get players around them very, very quickly. And of course, that can create space elsewhere. If you don't get it right, but we do generally get that right, and that's the strength of this team. You know, it is half time here at the Amex. It is Brighton 0 Arsenal 1. It's that goal from Ethan Nwaneri after just 16 minutes. Not much had happened up till that point. It had been a very tight game, a bit scrappy, but it was a good goal. We got a counter attack down that right hand side. It was Mikel Merino's ball, sent Ethan Nwaneri away onto his left foot. He went into the penalty area, and his low shot, maybe the goalkeeper could have done a bit better. It went underneath the goalkeeper a little bit into the bottom corner, and Arsenal lead. Brighton have had 1 or 2 moments since then. It hasn't been a convincing Arsenal performance at all, but we kind of felt it wasn't going to be with the midfield that we've got tonight. Very conservative midfield. It's been that sort of a game. It's been a bit scrappy. Players have been falling over. Brighton should be level. Adingra with an unbelievable chance to score, somehow put it wide of the post when he had the whole goal to aim at. That was a big miss. And yeah, maybe 1-1 would probably be a fair reflection on that first half. But we'll take the 1-0. We'll need to be better in the second half. I'm sure there'll be a lot more time wasted to come. But we've got the lead. And that's, that's all you can hope for at this point, isn't it? You just want to win the games, don't we? Nathan says, I know he's Spanish, but Omar would be an incredible signing. He's such a creative player. And I've watched him a lot of Barcelona. No, he's a good player. I agree with you. But what's happened in the Premier League in the last few years, you've noticed there's a lot more of those type of players, isn't there? The Spanish, Brazilian type players now have taken over the Premier League, and I don't know. I don't kind of like the direction it's going. He would be a good signing, I'm sure he would, but I don't know. I don't think we'll get him anyway, personally, not in January anyway. But we'll see. Regenda says, I will see if the ref give Brighton a yellow card for kicking the ball away. Well, I don't think have they kicked the ball away yet? I haven't noticed that they did. Maybe they did. I don't know. Terry says, well, thank God for Ethan's bit of magic. Otherwise, it's like watching Division 1 football, but without the passion. Well, it's not been great. That's certainly true. Steve says, make a cup of sugar with little milk for second half to stay awake. Yeah, get yourself what you need, my friend. You don't want to be falling asleep because it's such an exciting game. Grat says, see you in a second. Have to shut my phone off due to low battery. Why don't I just charge it up? Just to shut it down? Can you not just charge it up? I don't know. El Loco says, Alman must be the most sought after player in Europe in this window. Yeah, I'm sure he will be, which means we won't get him, will we? Greg says, roll on next week when a proper football starts. Well, yeah, exactly. The women's team are back, of course. Terry says, good luck with that. Yeah, I mean, I think you'll need more than some sugar. I think you need loads of caffeine to stay awake if it's 5:30 in the morning, because this game isn't going to probably keep you awake. We've had Greg fall asleep. We don't want Steve to fall asleep as well. That's no good, is it? It's no good for the channel if you keep falling asleep, guys, is it? Oh dear. James says, well, why would Brighton waste time when they're losing? I don't understand why they would waste time. I'm not saying they haven't kicked the ball. I've not really noticed them do it, but if they do it, they're not doing it to waste time, are they? Because they're losing. It's only the winning team that's going to be penalised for time wasting, because you're winning. If you're winning the game, you're going to be more likely to time waste than a team that's losing. If you're losing the game, why would you time waste? You wouldn't. You might kick the ball away, or you might do stuff like that, but you're not doing it to waste time because you're losing the game. Would make no sense, would it? And Arsenal have made an absolute habit of time wasting, particularly this season. It's ridiculous. And I hope that Arsenal get more bookings for it. We might stop doing it, because I hate it. You know, some of the little things in football that I hate is diving, right? Pretending to be injured when you're not injured, giving out false yellow cards, and time wasting. They're some of the things I want to get rid of in football. And Arsenal do a lot of those things a lot now. And that's not another reason why I can't get my head into Mikel Arteta, because he's part of all of this. That's what he's like. That's what he wants us to do. And they're the things that should be eradicated from football. And I watch other games, and other teams aren't doing that. Other teams aren't doing that to the same extent. Everybody wastes a bit of time, when you're one goal up and the time's ticking down. Newcastle did it at Spurs today, but they didn't waste any time until the last 5 minutes. They were going to a corner flag and stuff like that, and that's fine with 5 minutes to go. Not in the first half. He got a book. Ethan don't know where he got booked in the first half for delaying taking a corner. Juran Timbers got booked for delaying throws in the first half of game. Why are we wasting time in the first half? Why? It's ridiculous. Horrible tactics, and that's what I don't like about this. This is what I don't like about this current manager and coaching. I can't get really into it. I'm sorry. Grat says, can't charge on the pub. Well, you could, but only on yourself. Well, yeah, you can charge yourself in the pub. Yeah, unplug the TV for 15 minutes. The pub won't mind. No, they probably won't. There must be plug sockets in the wall, isn't there? Surely pubs have like electricity sockets in the wall, don't they? You can just plug the charger in. I don't know. Regenda says they are doing it to prevent quick free kicks. I've not personally noticed it, but I don't think any Arsenal fan can complain about any other team time wasting, quite honestly, because we are the absolute masters of it. The master. If there was a league title for time wasting, we would be 100 points clear in the league table by now. Absolutely, we'd have had it wrapped up. But that's something that I don't want us to win that. Redemptor says, I disagree. They all do it even more. Well, no, they don't do it even more. I mean, okay, I notice it with Arsenal because Arsenal mean more to me. So when Arsenal do it, it annoys me, and I've seen it all the time and it annoys me. I see other teams maybe doing it. You're right. I don't really care if it's against us or not, because we do it more. We do it more. I don't see another game. I don't see teams waste as much time as we do, any other team. I haven't noticed that. I see us wasting lots of time and other teams wasting some time, but not as much as us. And it should all be got rid of, to be honest with you. Terry says, you've just reminded me on a rant. Well, no, it just annoys me, that's all. Nathan said it's called dark arts. Well, they call it dark arts. It's cheating, basically. It's just a nice way of saying it's cheating, because it is cheating, isn't it? Football and sport, to me, is about a sporting contest, right? And yes, you need to try everything that you can to try and win. Of course you do. But if you're not good enough to win fairly, then that's the problem, isn't it? That's a problem. And if you've got to cheat to win, Arsenal fans in particular, everybody's been complaining about Man City's all these charges against them. Well, they've cheated to win, right? And Arsenal fans have been even more made a big deal of that, because obviously it could have cost us 2 league titles if you want to look at it like that. And other teams cheating we don't like, but yet we're quite happy for our team to cheat and we accept it, because other teams cheat as well. Well, I don't care if other teams cheat. I don't want us to cheat, because we're Arsenal and we should be better than that. You know, we've got a tradition of being a massive club with this great history of doing things in the right way. And that's just gone out the window. And we've just become a Man City. We that's what we've become. And that's not what I want for Arsenal, because we're better than that, or we should be better than that. We should have more. We should want to be better than that, and we don't. We just want to try and cheat our way to winning things, and I don't like that. Mark C says all teams do it, but the media highlight it when we do it. They make a fuss. Well, no, they maybe they do. I don't really listen too much to the media. I look at what I look at. I don't like to see Arsenal doing that. I don't want to see us play that way. And the other, all teams do it. Yeah, of course they do. The teams waste time, teams cheat, and all this kind of stuff. All those things I mentioned before, all teams do it. Of course they do. But I don't care if other teams are doing it. I don't want to see my team do it, because I want my team to be better than that. We should be better than that. We shouldn't sink to that level. We should be able to rise above that and say, we're going to beat you because we're better than you, not because we can cheat more than you can. We can waste more time than you can. I don't want us to win like that. It takes away the whole point of it for me. It just takes it all away. Regenda says, if we did it more, then we would have more draws. We would not have time to score. Well, no, what we do is we get ourselves in front and then we waste time. And obviously the games that we waste the time is when we're winning. As I said, you don't waste time when you're not winning, do you? It'd be pointless. We managed to get ourselves in front. Usually, I mean, today it was a good goal on a counter-attack. Quite often it's from a set piece. We get a scrappy goal from a set piece, and then we'll waste time for 75 minutes. And I don't want to see that. I don't, honestly. Football's entertainment. It should be entertainment. It's an escape from life. And I can't stand cheating in any form. I just can't stand it in anything. Any part of life, I can't stand anyone that cheats. To me, doesn't deserve any sort of success. I can't be doing with it. And that's what I just see as we're cheating. We are cheating. I look at it as cheating, and I don't. We've never really done that before. I always looked at Arsenal as being the fairest team the way that we played, and sometimes it cost us. I agree. Sometimes we maybe lost games, we lost titles because we didn't maybe cheat. And yes, okay, you're disappointed you didn't win, but you can kind of think, well, you know what? At least we went about it the right way. But now we're not winning and we're cheating. The two things put together, it's like, come on, well, no. I just will say doing in big screen pub. Well, good for you, Ange. I'm sure you're enjoying yourself. Are you feeling better? You must be feeling better if you're in a big screen pub. You must be feeling better, mustn't you? Terry says, never trust a liar or a cheat. Well, no, exactly. That's a good rule of life, actually, isn't it? Nothing good ever comes from either of those two things, as far as I can see. Nothing worthy ever comes from any of those things. Redemption says, not just Man City, Man United, Chelsea, Liverpool, Newcastle, and we don't. We don't what? Cheat. Well, we do. Mark C says, same as a couple of years ago, they assured us having a soft underbelly, but then when our players start kicking opponents and using dark arts, they then moan about us doing it. Massive. Well, no, Arsenal used to see. I don't think we were weak necessarily. I just don't think we were. We had the right team structure, and that's not really necessarily being weak in certain, especially some of the away games at the bigger teams. I don't necessarily. We didn't get bullied very often, did we? It was more about the fact that we wanted to play our way, especially under Arsene Wenger, and we wasn't able to do it in those games often enough. And yeah, we got criticised for it. Yeah, we did. But I preferred that. I didn't prefer losing, but what I preferred the fact that we tried to play the right way. That's the one thing Arsene Wenger, for all his criticism, and I'm not saying he shouldn't have left, for all the criticism Arsene Wenger got, the one thing you could always say was he always tried to play football in the right way. And that should be admired. And that's one thing you can never, ever say about Arteta. Whatever success he has or doesn't have, he's not tried to play football in the right way. He's not tried to play the game in the spirit of football. And to me, that's, maybe I'm just too old school, I don't know. But to me, that's so important to do that. Win, but win properly. And there's no reason why we can't do it. We've done it before. There's no reason why we can't do it. And we don't seem to want to do it. Mark says, simply put, our players have become clued up. Well, no, we haven't become clued up. What we've got is we've got a manager who's brought in more bigger physical players. We've got coaches who are designing the whole tactics around wasting time, playing for set pieces. And I'm not saying if it works, it's successful, then you think, well, okay, fair enough. I'm not going to allow that to stop me from appreciating success. but it's not what I enjoy watching. The journey is, for me, the journey to success is more important than the success itself, because the success itself is just a little bit at the end. How you get there is so important. And if you're going to get there by cheating and time wasting and all this kind of stuff, to me, it totally derails the whole point of it all. And it takes away most of it, because I say the journey to get there is what's so important, isn't it? You know, you win the league because you played 38 games in the league. And it's how you play over those 38 games that's the journey to get there, isn't it? And if you spend most of those 38 games wasting time and doing all that kind of dark arts, if you want to call it, or cheating, whatever you want to look at it, then that's not the right way to do it, is it? It's not the right way to win. It's not the right way to win. You have to find a way to win, but you can find a way to win without doing all of that stuff. You can, if you're good enough. You can, if you're good enough. Anyway, Terry says, and are you sobered up enough to say hi since Christmas Eve? No, I wouldn't have thought that's the reason. Agenda says, hold on, you like the old style football where footballers kicked. No, but see, there's nothing wrong with kicking people. There's nothing wrong with tackling. There's nothing wrong with getting stuck in. There's nothing wrong with that. What? That's different. So to cheating, pretending to be injured, and wasting time and diving, all those things like that. They're the things that's not the same as tackling and stuff like that. That's not cheating. That's part of the game. It's a physical game. It's a physical sport, football. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. That's fine. I want to see us do that. I want to see us tackle and get in people's faces and you know, do that kind of stuff. That's fine. That's part of the game. But cheating, wasting time, diving, all that kind of stuff, no, that isn't part of the game. And that's not a part of the game I want to see. And I don't want us to have success by doing that. Greg says, hello, Angel. Not long to wait for Emma. Is that why you're in the pub? I don't think Emma's coming. We'd never get Ange out of the pub, would we, if Emma was announced? Can you imagine? Terry says, good on you, Ange. That's why you're our favourite. Indeed. Mark C says, playing free-flowing football ain't helping Ange one bit. Well, no, it isn't necessarily, although you have to say, watching Tottenham's quite a lot of fun, isn't it? And obviously they're losing games, which makes it even more fun, but their games are quite exciting to watch. And if he can find some way, I've got a few injury problems in defence, and the way he plays is quite open. But I don't know. Obviously, our strength is our defence, right? There's no doubt about that. Not just our defence in terms of the back four and the goalkeeper, but the way that we defend as a team. We're the best in the league at that. I don't think there's much doubt about that. It takes away a lot of our attacking play sometimes. It does. Actually, Martinelli's coming on at half time here, guys. Who's going off, do we think? Who is going off? Martinelli is coming. Will it be Trossard? Didn't do much in that first half, did he, Trossard? I hope it's not Wanyeri. It is Wanyeri. So Wanyeri scored a goal and he's now going off at half time. Is he injured? Is he suffering from this flu or what? I don't know. But Martinelli's come on at half time for Ethan Wanyeri, which is a bit disappointing, isn't it? I'd have took Trossard off, because did Trossard have a bigger impact in that first half than Wanyeri? No. But there you go. Terry says, oh, Greg, stop it, mate. Make our hands swear on the line watching them. No, she won't. She'll be fine. Rajendra says, the best of the Dark Arts will show us. Yeah, how much did we like him? Did you like him? I didn't. I couldn't stand the way that they did that. So I'm not going to be a hypocrite now and say, I like it now, we're doing it. Anyway, there's a player called Jorginho who's coming on for Brighton. It's not our Jorginho, it's another Jorginho. In fact, they've made two subs. Minter is coming on as well. Actually, no, it's Rutter that's coming on. I'm sure I just saw Jorginho. Oh, Jorginho Rutter. Oh, that's his name. Jorginho Rutter's come on. And who was the other one who came on? Did we say Minter? So they've made two subs and we've made one. Well, you don't have to see 3 substitutions at half time here in a Premier League game. So anyway, Brighton seem to want to change their shape and their style to try and get back into this game, which is fair play, isn't it? Nathan says that one thing that really annoys me is how easily players go down these days. Yeah, exactly, yeah. It feels like you can't even put in a proper tackle anymore. Not like you used to be. Exactly, yeah, you can't really, can you? There you go. Rajendra says our attacker was kicked to a broken leg. Well, we had a few broken legs, didn't we? We definitely did. I remember Diaby, Eduardo, Aaron Ramsey, do you remember that one? Christ, we had some bad ones, didn't we? We did have some bad ones, but it doesn't seem to happen much anymore, does it? Doesn't seem to happen much, does it? Which is just as well, actually, because you don't really want players to have. Oh, hang on, Brighton have got a chance, have they? No, they haven't. Oh, it was another foul. Was that really a foul on Jorginho? I don't know. He lost the possession inside his own penalty area to João Pedro, and the referee gave a free kick. Otherwise, it would have been a chance to Brighton. They've actually started the second half on top. Brighton. They were certainly not out of the game in that first half, were they? I thought they did play pretty well. They didn't really create too much. And I say most of the reason for that is because of how the defensive shape of our team is so good. You know, we're out of possession. That is the one thing that, you know, okay, I'll criticise Mikel Arteta quite a lot and the coaching staff and this and the other, but the one thing that Mikel Arteta has done well and the coaching staff have done well is the out of possession, how much better we are now out of possession than we have been probably for 20 years. That's the one thing that he's really done well. And it's, you know, and there's nothing wrong with it. That's a good, you have to build from the back down. You have to be solid defensively if you're going to achieve anything. And it has taken a little bit away from the attacking side of our game, particularly this season, even more so. But, you know, there's nothing wrong with a good defensive unit. You know, George Graham built a whole career on it. And I'd say, and I'll give Mikel Arteta credit for that. And he's done well, and his coaching staff have done well. Oh, there's a shot from distance. It was Estepanian there, but it just rolled into the arms in the end of David Raya. Quite a long way out. He got a deflection. But we're quite difficult to score against, aren't we? Now, we're difficult to score against. And that's a great thing to have, isn't it? It's not always great to watch, as I've said, for various different reasons, but you have to say the defensive organisation out of possession of this team is exceptional. And if that was enough to win your stuff, it would be great, but it's not. In modern football, you need to have a little bit. We need to have a little bit more creativity and versatility, and in attack. That way, we need that little extra in attack. That's what we're lacking. That's what we've said for ages. But the defensive structure of the team is brilliant, and it's going to have to be good in the second half as well, because you do think Brighton are going to start putting us under a little bit more pressure. They're going to start asking us a lot more questions, aren't they, Brighton? So it's going to be interesting to see how we cope with that, because, you know, that is our strength. Anyway, Brighton have got a throw on this near side, just in front of the dugouts here at the Amex Stadium. Anyway, Brighton are in possession with Estepanian. Just had that shot in there a moment ago, getting forward from left back. The shot was deflected, though. I didn't cause David Raya too many problems. Brighton now playing out from the back. They're a decent team, Brighton, aren't they? They haven't won for a while, but so they don't lose very often, do they? They've only lost 4 Premier League games this season. So you know how difficult they are to beat, but they have drawn far too many games. And that's really prevented them from maybe making a bid for a European position in the league, you know. Greg says, I'm entitled to heating allowance next Saturday, but they won't give it to me because I can't afford to retire, thanks to our fellow support staff. And exactly, yeah. No one can afford to do anything, really. But there you go. That's modern life for you, my friend. Are you entitled to your heating allowance? Because they stopped it, didn't they, for a lot of people? So I don't know. But anyway. Is it your birthday then, Greg? Is that what you're trying to tell us? Is that your subtle way of telling us it's your birthday next Saturday? Is it? Is it your birthday? Is it? Happy birthday if it is. Anyway, Jesus just committed a foul on Van Heck. He'll be fortunate not to get a yellow card, actually, because he kind of put his arm across the defender and winded him. Here's a free kick to Brighton, which they've taken. Anyway, talking about famous Arsenal supporters, I saw a video on YouTube yesterday. Mo Farah was interviewing Arsene Wenger. Now, Mo Farah is like a great celebrity to be an Arsenal fan, isn't he? Mo Farah, what a legend. He interviewed Arsene Wenger. It's a great video. Check it out on YouTube. It's brilliant. And they have a little run together in Zurich, and Wenger's talking about what he's doing now, about being a manager, loads of stuff. It's a really interesting video. And it's great to see Arsene Wenger looking so well. It's great to, see him again. Such a fantastic person. Did so much for this football club, of course. And a really interesting interview that. So check it out. It's on Mo Farah's channel. I think it's called Mo Runs with Arsene Wenger or something like that. It's definitely worth watching. Go and find it on YouTube. You'll enjoy it. It is really, really good. Arsenal just looking to take the sting out of this second half. It's been a good start, actually, to the second half from Brighton, but Arsenal are just looking to get a bit of possession. William Saliba on his near side pops it into midfield. Mikel Merino touches it off to Jorginho. Back to David Raya. Goes long up the centre. Van Heck wins that header against Jesus. The ball almost falls to Arsenal over on that far side, but Brighton hook it away up this near side. Oh, that's a nice touch, actually, by Adingra. Brighton are looking to come forward themselves. Greg says Wenger's book was a good read. It was, yeah, it's brilliant. One of the many Arsenal books I've got on my bookshelf, which you can't see, it is behind me, but you can't see it because I've got the screen up. But yeah, ball into the box from Brighton. William Saliba's there again. Another good solid game at the back for William Saliba. Mark C says Brighton defenders dropping like flies when Jesus brushes it. Well, I thought he did put his arm into it. I think he winded him, actually. But he's a big lad, that Van Hecker. Maybe he shouldn't be going down quite that easily, should he? He's got the ball now, though, the Dutchman. Plays it square to Igor. Now it's with Adingra on this near side. Cuts in field, tries to go around Martinelli. Good defending, actually, from Martinelli there. Is that what they brought him on in the second half for? He's slightly better defensive work than Ethan Nwaneri was able to do. Helped Thomas Partey out a little bit because he struggled at times, didn't he, to deal with Adingra. When Arsenal given the ball away in midfield, and now there's a little bit of space on this near side for Adingra. Plays the ball forward, looking for João Pedro. Good defending there, though, from Gabriel. Showed good strength. That's what he's good at, isn't he? Uses his body well, doesn't he, Gabriel, when he's defending. And he did it really well then to stop João Pedro getting the wrong side of him. And it's been a good start to the second half from Brighton. Their substitutions have made a difference. They've certainly looked a little bit more dangerous in the second half. They haven't really created anything, and they didn't create too much in that first half, did they? But they did miss that big opportunity by Adingra to draw a level. And it would be a totally different game. They're coming forward again, though, over on that far side. But that's a poor ball there. Really, really poor ball. And they had a player over, actually, over on that far side. And Brighton battling to try and win it back. They're pressing us really early in the second half, aren't they, Brighton? We've played 53.5 minutes. Declan Rice there plays the ball out to that far side. A bit of a strange ball, but we managed to keep possession. And then Arsenal just popping the ball around in midfield. Trying to take the sting out of this Brighton second half revival, if you like. Brighton look to try and get back into this game. They've come from behind quite a few times, haven't they, this season to get results. And they're certainly looking to do that again, aren't they? Arsenal, that's why I come forward. That's a long ball play forward. Jesus takes it well, but he's offside. How can you be offside there, mate? Honestly, come on. You shouldn't be offside there, should you? Deary, deary me. Anyway, Brighton now back in possession with goalkeeper Verbruggen. I don't know. Or is that Danny Welbeck? Danny Welbeck's on the bench there for Brighton. Obviously, he's injured. He's not actually in their squad today. He's been injured, hasn't he? One of the players that's played for both Arsenal and Brighton, of course. Along with Trossard, Ben White, Matt Ryan, the goalkeeper. These are all just the recent ones. Anyway, Arsenal have got a corner, so Brighton are doing the thing where they've got 3 players up the pitch to try to clear the penalty area a little bit. which of course Monaco did against us, didn't they, a few weeks ago? I think, was it Man United tried it? Anyway, we've got a corner which Declan Rice is going to take over on that far side, chipped into the edge of the 6-yard box. It's a good defensive header, actually, as Mikel Merino was coming in on that. And then Merino's lost the ball. And now Brighton can try to come forward. And they want to throw on this near side. Oh, that was a bit of a clash there, and it's Estepanian and Declan Rice, and Declan Rice is holding his shoulder, and that's not good, is it? But I think he's going to be okay. It's going to be a free kick to Arsenal, actually. It was just that the two players there went for a header. It was quite a heavy challenge, shall we say. I think that'll go down as a heavy challenge there from Estepanian. He was looking at the ball. I don't think he was intending to hurt Declan Rice, but obviously he's ran straight into him. And it is a free kick. He's just got a slight shoulder injury, Declan, but he's back up on his feet again. I'm sure he's going to be fine. Just moving his shoulder around to try and loosen it up. He's going to take this free kick, actually, Declan, so he can't be that badly hurt, can he? Let's be honest. He's a tough old cookie, isn't he? Can Arsenal get the second goal coming up to the hour mark? So it's not been a great performance again, but we are heading for 3 points. Declan Rice's low ball. It's a funny free kick. It was a good free kick. Dangerous ball. And Mikel Merino was trying to get on the end of it. In fact, he may well have got that final touch. Everyone was expecting a high ball. He rolled it low. Rolled it low towards a penalty spot. And that was a strange old free kick, but it almost paid off, actually. Mark C says he wasn't anywhere near that and he threw himself into Rice. Should have been yellow. I don't know. I mean, he didn't look like he looked at him. He was just going for the ball, which I suppose he's got to try and do. Anyway, Brighton now have got a little bit of space here if they can exploit it, but they didn't. Or maybe they will still inside the penalty area. In fact, he's gone down inside the box, a Brighton player. And the referee has given, what's he given? He's given a penalty. The referee's given a penalty to Brighton. We'll have to look at that again. I'm not sure who committed the foul. It was on João Pedro, I think it was, who's holding the side of his face inside the penalty. Let's have a look at this again. It was William Saliba got himself in a bit of a muddle. And, well, yeah, it's William Saliba. Let's have a look at the replay of that, because João Pedro flicked the ball up. And then William Saliba went to head it. Oh, he's headed him into his head. Oh, I mean, that's a sore one. Is it a penalty? I don't know. It's certainly not enough for them to overrule it on VAR. I can't see VAR overturning a decision. João Pedro did head the ball first, and then William Saliba's headed his head. It was unfortunate. It was unlucky. And had the ref not given it, I don't think that they would overturn it. But the fact the ref has given it, again, they're not going to overturn it, are they? It's one of them ones, isn't it? Mark C says Saliba went to it. Well, he did, yeah, but it's like any foul in a penalty, isn't it? Usually, you go, oh, hang on, what's he giving here? Has he changed his mind? No. I say, if you go to put a challenge in a penalty, a tackle, you're going to try and get the ball, aren't you? And if you don't get the ball, and you touch the player, it's a penalty. It's the same situation. It's slightly different, I suppose, because it's in the head. But I don't know. I think we'd be screaming for that for a penalty. Mark says, no, I haven't overturned it. They won't. You're absolutely right. Anyway, he's going to be João Pedro to take this penalty. And, of course, David Raya's got a decent record at saving penalties, isn't he? Is he going to come to Arsenal's rescue again? Here, a big moment in this game on the hour mark. Penalty for Brighton to make it 1-1. João Pedro against David Raya. And he scores, sends Arsenal's goalkeeper the wrong way. And João Pedro won the penalty. He scored the penalty. And Arsenal, once again, as we were the other night, are in danger of dropping points here on the south coast. Nathan says, I still don't think that's a pen. See, I don't know. See, if it's at the other end, if it's a tackle rather than a header, and the player gets a touch on the ball first, and then the defender touches the player, it's a foul, isn't it? And look, he headed it first, and then he's caught him. I think that's a penalty. I think that's a penalty because he flicks it up there, then he heads it on João Pedro, and then William Saliba heads him. It's exactly the same as a tackle, a mistimed tackle that you're a second late. And if you're a second late with a tackle in the penalty area, it's a penalty. He was a second late there. I think it's a penalty. And it was obvious it was never going to get overturned. Anyway, Martin Odegaard's getting ready to come on. So he can't be that ill, can he? Gabriel says, felt like João Pedro went towards Saliba's head. Well, he just tried to head the ball, didn't he? And he headed the ball and his head was moving that way, wasn't it? I mean, it's a strange one because if the ref doesn't give it, VAR don't give it. But if the ref does give it, VAR aren't going to overturn it. Anyway, Dingel's gone off and Mitoma's come on. And Mitoma's a very good player. Gabriel said, wouldn't that make it a 50-50? Well, I mean, you can say every challenge is a 50-50 challenge. It's like if a striker runs through on goal, Nick knocks the ball past the goalkeeper and the goalkeeper just catches him, it's a penalty. It's the same with that. He just got in there in front of him, didn't he? He got a touch on the ball in front of the defender, and then there's been a connection. So anywhere else on a pitch, that's probably a foul. And we'd be screaming for it at the other end. I certainly would. If that happened at the other end, I'll be screaming for a penalty there. So I'm not going to complain about that. If the ref doesn't give it, it doesn't get given by VAR. Absolutely not. But I can understand why that's been given because there was contact after he played the ball. And Arsenal now have a chance to go back in front. Oh, that was a great bit of defending actually there. Well, who was that from Brighton? Really good defending. And now suddenly Brighton have got a chance for a counter attack. This is quite an open game now. The first half didn't really catch fire, but it has now. Brighton are coming forward up that far side, and they've got a bit between their teeth now, Brighton, since they got level. And there's a bit of space here on this near side for Mitoma, who's just come on. He's going to go past Thomas Partey, gets to the byline, pulls it back. Oh, and Arsenal managed to scramble it clear. And Jorginho can bring it away, but Mitoma's going to fancy his chances against Thomas Partey, isn't he? Absolutely. And there's a yellow card there for one of the Brighton players. It's Veltman for that foul there on Gabriel Jesus. So rightly so there. That's a clear yellow card for the Dutchman. And that's his third yellow card of the season. Gabriel says one of those subjective calls. Yeah, it absolutely is one of those subjective calls. Yeah, Jorginho's now going off and Martin Odegaard's coming on, the saviour of Arsenal, even though he's only 50% fit. So let's see. He was captain Jorginho, but he's given the armband to Martin Odegaard. And Arsenal now looking for a little bit more of an attacking thrust. So bringing on the captain. And he's just given something to Mikel Merino as well. I'm not quite sure what he's just given him. Anyway, there's a Brighton player down injured at the moment. Terry says the failed wonder kid comes on. Gabriel says, but you can also see why it's not a penalty. I don't know. I think there's contact in the box. And I think if there's contact in the box, I don't know. It's right in front of the referee. Yeah, it is a subjective one. You're right. It is a subjective one. And like you said, some of them are given and some of them aren't given. And yeah, it's been given. I say, and if it was at the other end, we'd be screaming for a penalty. So, you know, but this is now a test of Arsenal's character, isn't it? You know, you get a decision go against you, whether or not it's the right or wrong decision, and you pen back to 1-1. You've then got to show character, haven't you? And this is what I said before about finding ways to win a game. You know, this is a real big test for us now. We've got to try to find a way to win this game. We had it won. Mark C says, what failed wonder kid? The failed wonder kid who's just come on. Disney Prince. Anyway, the Brighton player who's injured just got back on his feet again. I can't see who he is actually. Oh, it's Igor, the Brazilian, Igor Julio. The big Brazilian defender who's back on his feet again. He's still limping a little bit. I don't know whether he's going to be able to carry on or not. He is limping away. In fact, he's going off. He can't continue. And it's Adam Webster coming on. He's another big lad, isn't he? They've got some big players, Brighton, actually, haven't they? They've got some big players. Anyway, it's a free kick to Arsenal, the result of all of that, which David Raya is going to take midway inside the Arsenal half. And he's going to go along with this, you do imagine. So can Arsenal find a way back in front in this game? We came from behind on Wednesday to beat Brentford. We've been pegged back in this game. Can we find a way to win this one as well? Which would be a fantastic week for us if we can. Anyway, Brighton get that ball away. And William Saliba is going to play it back to David Raya. Terry says, Gabby got a pen when he got punched. So what's the difference? Well, yeah, no, I suppose you're right, really. That was, what game was that against? I can't remember now, but the goalkeeper punched him in the head, didn't he? Anyway, Brighton have won another free kick over on that far side. I think it was Mikel Merino gave it away. And actually, since the equaliser went in, Brighton have been the better team. They've really got a bit of momentum now in this game, haven't they, Brighton? You know, Matoma just managed to keep that in. It was a strange free kick from Van Heck, actually. Tried to switch it from right to left. And Matoma did well to keep it in. The Japanese winger who's not maybe had his best season for Brighton, has he? But we know what a great player he is. He scored against us a couple of times before, hasn't he? Anyway, he's at an offside over on that far side. The flag stays down, actually. It's João Pedro. Can he get across it? He can't because it's blocked by Ricardo Calafiore. And at this moment in time, midway through the second half, Brighton looked the more likely team to win this game. Again, the ball comes across to Mitoma on this near side, takes it well. He's going to fancy his chances against Thomas Partey. He's done well, actually. Plays the ball back. The cross comes in from Estepanian. Headed out again, though, by Arsenal, by Mikel Merino it was. Picked up by Adam Webster. This is a good spell, actually, from Brighton. Since they scored, they've been great. But Estepanian here makes a mistake and the ball's gone out of play. It's going to be a throw to Arsenal. And Jorginho's on the bench. And he kicked out one of the Brighton players and led up to that penalty, actually, because he was pulled back anyway. Bit of a nonsense over nothing. Arsenal now in possession. Thomas Partey on this near side plays it up this line, and surely Martinelli's foul. A combination of two players there came in on him. Gabriel says that collision just looks like a normal collision at a corner. Oh, who was that fouled in there? Was it Estepanian? He's certainly he likes to tackle, doesn't he? The Ecuadorian. Purvis Estepanian, and Martinelli certainly felt that one, didn't he? Yeah, it's a free kick to Arsenal. Thomas Partey plays it back to William Saliba, and Arsenal need to try to find a way to win this game. It's a long clearance there from David Raya. Don't forget, Brighton are the draw specialists in the Premier League. They've drawn more games than anybody else. In fact, I think they've drawn their last 3 or 4 coming into this game. So they certainly like a draw, don't they, Brighton? And they'll be certainly happy with this draw, which they probably deserve over the course of the game so far. 70 minutes on the clock. Mark C says Estepanian should have been booked by now. Yeah, I'm quite surprised he hasn't been booked yet. But anyway, he hasn't. And he's in possession now up this near side. He's done well there. Plays it into midfield. And now it's João Pedro, the Brighton goal scorer. And he's fouled, and it's going to be a free kick on this near side to Brighton this time. There's no real flow to the game at the moment, is there? Thomas Partey was committed that foul. And yeah, he put his hands in his face, so that's clearly a foul as well. And it is a free kick to Brighton, which they've taken. It's now back with Webster. Arsenal haven't created anything in his second half at all. It's been really, really poor. You know, Matoma now looking to come forward on this near side. Can't control that ball. It's gone out for a throw to Arsenal. Thomas Partey is going to take it. We're into the last 20 minutes. And Mikel Arteta, like he always does, is in chats to his two coaching staff because they've got all the ideas and he's got none. And he's hoping they can maybe give him some inspiration to try and find a way to win this game. You know, Thomas Partey with his throw. Webster steps. It's going to be a throw again to Arsenal. We've gained about 10 yards up this near side. And we've not created one chance in this second half. Terry says, this is what happens when you take tackling out of the game. It's a contact sport. Like it used to be. We know it did used to be, yeah. Anyway, Trossard's getting a few boos from the Brighton fans. Of course, a former Brighton player. He did score in this fixture, was it last season, wasn't it? And he's looking to get one again over on that far side, Arsenal's left. Can Arsenal finally create something in the second half? Ricardo Calafiore goes to the byline, tries to pull the cross in, but that's good defending. It's a corner though to Arsenal. Only the second corner we've had in this second half. And it was Calafiore there getting forward from left back, did well. It was good defending by, I think it was Van Heck. And it is a corner to Arsenal over on that far side. And we know how dangerous we can be from these situations. And again, Brighton are keeping players up the pitch. And if this works, it'd be interesting, wouldn't it? If they manage to clear this ball away and they've got a counter-attack, it's a 3-on-3 situation on the halfway line. Be interesting to see what happens. The corner comes in from Declan Rice towards the far post. Gabriel's up. The goalkeeper's picked that ball out of the air pretty well. And he's going to try and kick it forward quickly. But look how quickly Arsenal are looking to get back into their defensive shape without the ball. I say that's been the one thing that Mikel Arteta has really done well with this team. Anyway, Declan Rice has the ball taken off him by Matoma and then commits a foul. And it's going to be a free kick to Brighton. It has been quite scrappy this game. It's been quite a scrappy Arsenal performance, if we're totally honest. You know, Brighton coming forward now, João Pedro with a bit of pace. But William Saliba's there, plays it back to David Raya. And he plays it up this near side to Gabriel Martinelli. He's done well, but he's given the ball away. In actual fact, in the end, just out-muscled a little bit. João Pedro now on this near side. He's won the throw for Brighton. And they're certainly in the ascendancy now, the home team, aren't they? Terry says, can't wait till they take punching out of boxing. Well, yeah, they probably will do. It's dangerous, isn't it? So they probably will take punching out of boxing. It'll be just like little slaps, won't it? That's all you'll be able to do. Anyway, Declan Rice in midfield for Arsenal by William Saliba. Rice again. Oh, Martin Odegaard's finally touched the ball. He's only been on 10 minutes. Anyway, he finds Martinelli on this near side. Martinelli on the right, cuts in field. Can he get a shot away? No, he can't. Tries to do too much, but does find Martin Odegaard again, puts a cross in. Van Heck heads that away. And now Brighton can look to try and come forward themselves, and they won a free kick again, just outside their own penalty. It's Ricardo Calafiore again, committing the foul. He's pleading his innocence, but it is going to be a free kick. And that was Ruffer there. Jorginho Ruffer. El Loco says, we have not been flowing in the past 4 games, and the reason is on a hospital bed recovering from hamstring. Well, yeah, exactly. That's one of the main reasons. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. You've got to find a way, haven't you? You know, you can't expect to have all of your best players fit all the time. That's not realistic, is it? And when they're not there, you've got to find a way to cope with it. You know, Man City have struggled, haven't they, with their injuries, dropped loads and loads of points. But it's similar to what happened from last season, if you remember. They had a really poor run, didn't they? And they recovered, and they seem to be recovering again. They got a good 4-1 win today, didn't they? Manchester City this afternoon against West Ham. Erling Haaland back in the goals again. And you can see them winning their next 10 or 11 games. You certainly can't see Arsenal winning our next 10 or 11 games, can you? The way we're playing at the moment. But you never know. You never know. Now, into the last 15 minutes here at the Amex. Brighton 1, Arsenal 1. And you'd probably say that's about the best we probably deserve from this game. Oh, that's a poor kick from David Raya. And Brighton are in here inside the penalty. João Pedro on this near side. Can he get the cross in? He's got William Saliba in front of him. He's teasing him. He's now played it to Estepanian, crosses it in, but David Raya is going to get that ball. Poor kick out there by the goalkeeper. I say he doesn't make mistakes. Occasionally he makes some distribution mistakes, as he did there. And Martin Odegaard's just giving the ball away. And the point of bringing him on seems to have been what? Because he's done nothing since he's come on. He's played one decent ball to Martinelli, and that's it. Anyway, Brighton coming forward now on that far side. This is actually good play. Ricardo Calafiore caught out of position again inside the penalty area. Oh, across the box, and Mitoma can't get there. That should have been 2-1 to Brighton. It was a great run actually over on that far side from Minto, who's just come on. Really good play from Brighton it was. Ricardo Calafiore was caught in no man's land there. Really poor defending from him again. And he just flicked the ball across. Mitoma just stopped before, didn't he? And then had he not done, and he kept running, he would have meant to probably slide that in. In fact, just in front of him there, there was another chance as well. Mark C says that was lucky. It was lucky, very lucky. And Brighton have had two big chances in this game. One in the first half, which Adingra fired into the stand, and that one there. And you have to say Arsenal have created nothing in the second half. Nothing at all. We didn't create much in the first half, really, did we? Not a great performance from Arsenal at all. We're looking quite poor, actually. Anyway, Declan Rice now plays the ball up this near side, but looking for Martinelli, but it's gone out of play. It's going to be a throw to Brighton. 77 minutes on the clock. Brighton 1, Arsenal 1. Not good enough by any stretch of the imagination. Is the big cup semi-final on Tuesday playing on the minds? Is it to do with the players we've got out injured? You know, we've got maybe have a chance here, Jesus, but he's tackled on the edge of the box. See, he's not sharp enough, is he, Jesus, in those situations? He's just not quite sharp enough. Anyway, Arsenal coming forward now. Trossard finds Jesus inside the air, but he has the ball taken off him again. He's been so poor today, really, really poor. This is a Jesus that we've got used to. The one in the last few weeks, as I don't know where that Jesus came from, because it's not usual for him, is it? Mikel Merino now just inside the Brighton penalty. Touch off to Declan Rice. He's going to try a shot, but it's straight at the goalkeeper. He was under a bit of pressure there, Declan, as he went to take that shot. And that is our first shot at goal in the second half, I believe. And we've played 78 minutes. And you have to say, since the equaliser, Brighton have certainly been the much more likely to score. There's absolutely no doubt about that. And they were very close a few moments ago. And Arsenal now coming forward over on that far side. Mikel Merino touches it back to Gabriel. Now squared to William Saliba. Now it's with Thomas Partey. Gives it back to William Saliba. Arsenal with a little bit of possession here, trying to take the sting out of this. Oh, David Raya takes a bit of a risk there under pressure from João Pedro. And Arsenal just giving the ball away, trying to play it out from the back. Really sloppy. That sums up a lot of this performance from Arsenal today. Mitoma now for Brighton, very central. Touches the ball off, and Brighton coming forward again. Van Heck just inside the Brighton half. Plays it forward. Van Heck again in possession. And the ball is way back to goalkeeper Verbruggen. Long ball for William Saliba's there with the header. Martinelli can't get there. And it's Brighton coming forward again. They have played some nice football in this game, Brighton. You have to say, they've been a joy to watch. The ball played out to that far side. Mix up there. It's gone out for a goal kick. Just as Brighton were threatening another chance. We're into the last 10 minutes here at the Amex Stadium. Brighton 1, Arsenal 1. It's been quite a poor performance from Arsenal. And if anyone's going to win this game in the last 10 minutes, you feel it's more likely to be Brighton. But we will see. Can Arsenal dig deep here and find a winner from somewhere? We've created nothing in this second half at all. It's been so poor. It's been so poor. And Martin Odegaard's come on and done nothing. And Arsenal coming forward now, run that far side. Ricardo Calafiore manages to keep possession under a bit of pressure, but he's just lost the ball. And Brighton have wanted it more in his second half. And that ball played forward, and Gabriel there. Was he pulling his shirt? It's a yellow card. Not sure who's got the yellow card, actually. There's a long ball played up that far side. And it's Gabriel with Minter, the substitute. And the two are pulling each other there. And the referee's given a free kick to Arsenal, actually. Looked a bit of a 50-50 there. But it's actually Minter that's got the yellow card. The Gambian substitute for Brighton. And anyway, Arsenal trying to come forward now. Again, it's a poor ball forward from Thomas Partey. Now Brighton can try and come forward, but Mitoma's made a mistake now. Odegaard touches it off to Marino. Plays it into Martinelli. Looks as though he might have been offside, Martinelli. But the cross isn't very good anyway. And it's cleared away. Terry says, how much more of this crap do we have to take? Well, another 8 minutes plus stoppage time. And then the game will be over and we can enjoy our Saturday evening. But if you're meaning how long have we got to put up with this football week in, week out, then I would say a long time. Anyway, Brighton coming forward now. I say they look more likely to get the winner. João Pedro on this near side. It's his penalty that brought Brighton level. He won the penalty himself. A little bit controversy about it, but it was given. And there's no doubt Brighton deserves something from this game anyway. There's a ball up this near side again, looking for Mitoma, and again he can't keep it in. The difficult ball to control. Actually, they're not giving him much of a chance. They want him to go one-on-one with Thomas Partey. Mitoma, he hasn't really had the opportunity to do that yet. And Thomas Partey is just going to take this throw. You know, we've had this manager 5 years. We spent 800 million, and we're having to play a midfield player at right back because we've got what? 2 injuries. Well, 1 injury and 1 suspension to right back players. So there you go. Anyway, Mikel Merino in midfield. Can Arsenal find something here in these closing stages to try and win this game? Otherwise, it's going to be another 2 points dripping away. And bearing in mind, Liverpool are playing Manchester United tomorrow, so they're bound to win because Man United are terrible. Anyway, Brighton are now coming forward. That's a foul there by Mikel Merino, and that's going to probably be a yellow card as well. Of course, it's a yellow card. Quite clearly a yellow card for Mikel Merino. He's quite possibly one of the worst players I've ever seen playing for Arsenal. And that's his second yellow card. And it's a free kick to Brighton in a dangerous area. And it was Jorginho, the Brighton Jorginho. It's spelled a different way. It's probably said a different way as well. Anyway, it's a free kick to Brighton about, what, 20 yards outside the... Well, no, it must be 10 yards outside the penalty area because that's where the wall is. And it is going to be lined up here by Ayani, the Swede. Is it too far out for a shot? I've never seen this guy take a free kick, so I don't know. It looks like it's too far out for a shot. But it looks like he might fancy his chances here. Ayari. Or is he going to just chip it into the penalty area? They've got some height in there. No, he does go for goal. Oh, it goes wide. It wasn't a bad effort, actually. I think David Raya would have had that covered if it was going to sneak in that near post. He got it round the wall, but he went a long way round. And it was never going to be bending into the corner. Terry says, the sad thing is I've lost my passion for the men's team. He's got to the stage, I don't care if we win or lose. Well, I must admit, I've lost it a little bit as well. And I think it's just for modern men's football in general, actually. It's just not the same. It's just been getting worse and worse. And obviously the way we play football doesn't help either. You're right. I'd much rather watch the women now, I've got to be honest. Anyway, Brighton are now coming forward. Oh, that's good play in midfield, actually. And Brighton have got a couple of players over here. If they play this ball right, but they didn't. Look for Matoma. Thomas Partey was there. And Brighton certainly didn't make the most of that. And Martin Odegaard is struggling to get the ball away. In the end, he's just giving it away. We're into the last 4 minutes of normal time, and Brighton think they can win this game. And they probably deserve to win this game. They're coming forward again up this near side. Ayani again plays it back to Estepanian. Gives it back to Ayani on this near side. Next with Adam Webster, sorry. Chips the ball forward. It's not a bad ball, actually. Estepanian's got clear inside the penalty area. Thomas Partey does well, actually, that time. And now maybe Brighton can launch a counter. Arsenal can launch a counter attack here with Martinelli on this near side. He's got nowhere to go. And in the end, he's tackled. It's going to be a throw to Arsenal. Greg says, we tune into this rubbish every time. You deserve a knighthood for making the best of it. Well, if my name was Sadiq Khan, I might have got a knighthood. But there you go. Anyway, Arsenal are coming forward now. Martinelli, you watch, we're going to nick this now in the last few minutes here. Totally against the run of play. Thomas Partey plays it into Declan Rice. Now it's inside the air with Martin Odegaard, but he's not sharp enough. And once again, he's very poor. Almost in a waste of time bringing him on. I don't think he's fit. Anyway, Thomas Partey now chips a cross in. It's not a great cross headed away. Declan Rice heads it forward, but Arsenal can't pick the ball up. They do now, though, with Thomas Partey on this near side, but that's a poor ball. That's a poor clearance from Brighton as well. And now Arsenal have won a free kick. And it's a similar position to where Brighton just had their free kick at the other end, isn't it? It was Jorginho, the Brighton Jorginho, with that foul. And this one's slightly further to this left-hand side. So Declan Rice isn't going to try a shot from here. He's going to sort of put this into that. Mind you, last time it was a very flat, low free kick, wasn't it? Which was quite good, actually. Will he do the same thing again? Or will he try a normal one? All eyes on Nicholas Jovic, of course, who have decided what they're going to do here. Declan Rice. Is it going to be a free kick like last time? Or are we going to do a more traditional lofted free kick towards that penalty spot area where Arsenal players are going to come in to try and attack it? It is one. It's a header. It's a free header from Thomas Partey, and it's poor. It's over the top of the bar. Wasn't an easy chance. But he's got a free header on it there. Maybe he could have done a bit better with that. It's gone high over the crossbar. We're into the last 90 seconds of normal time. And while Arsenal are going to make it another game unbeaten, it has been far, far from convincing. No doubt Mikel Arteta will spin it to say we played really well. It wasn't a penalty and we've been unlucky not to win the game. But he will be lying because this has been really poor. We don't deserve anything from this game. And we're lucky to get a point if that's what we're going to get. Regardless of the penalty, we've been poor and we haven't deserved anything from this game. João Pedro is trying to get clear down that far side. He's gone down and he's won a free kick. And Ricardo Calafiori's got to be careful because I'm sure he's already been booked, has he? Well, he's got a yellow card now. Obviously, he hadn't been booked. And João Pedro there, he's a good player, isn't he? Gets away from a couple of challenges and I don't think that's a yellow card. It is probably a foul. Might be accumulation of things because he's committed a few fouls, hasn't he, Calafiori, in this game. But the upshot of it is Brighton got a free kick over on that far side, and this could be quite a dangerous situation. Yes, it's a long way out, and it is over on that far side, but a decent delivery here could cause Arsenal a few problems if the delivery is good. The delivery is not bad at all. Header comes in, but it's going to go straight into the arms of David Raya. And maybe Arsenal, because there's going to be 6 minutes of stoppage time. We've got 6 minutes left. And now we've got a counter-attack with Martinelli on this near side. He's done well, Martinelli. He's gone past one challenge. He can't go past Estepanian again. That's good defending, actually. And now the Ecuadorian's got loads of space. Mikel Arteta has shouted at all the Arsenal players to get back into position. And Estepanian seems quite happy just to keep the ball at the moment. Gets a round of applause off his manager. Terry says, Rich, is that why you go running every weekend, to take your anger out on the course? So you keep the truth on this Arsenal crap to a minimum. Well, maybe. It's not just weekends. I go running all the time. Anyway, it does take my mind off of all this other nonsense. Anyway, David Ray almost got himself in trouble there. We've played one of the 6 minutes of stoppage time, and it's getting a little bit desperate now for Arsenal, isn't it? Time is running out, and I mean, a draw here is not a disaster. It has to be said. It isn't a disaster. The way we've played, it's probably not a bad result, in all honesty, because we've created nothing in this second half at all. You know, Ricardo Calafiore, the ball falls to the edge of the box. Trossard, now it's going to be pinged across by Mikel Merino. It falls to Thomas Partey on this near side. Wouldn't quite fall for him, though, so he plays it back to Declan Rice. Now it's with Trossard going to try to chip the ball into the air, headed away again by Brighton, by Webster. He says there, Martinelli goes down so easy, it's embarrassing. He does. Thomas Partey now on this near side. Can he get across in? He does get across, and it's a deep one. It's too deep, and it's going to be a throw to Brighton over on that far side. We've played 2 minutes of the 6. And in all honesty, I'll take a draw in this game. We've been so poor. And a draw is the maximum that we deserve from this game. You could even say we perhaps don't even deserve that, but we're likely to get a draw now, unless there's going to be something quite dramatic in these last few minutes. But Arsenal are coming forward now. Gabriel Jesus over on that far side just touches it off to Trossard, cuts him through. Can he get the shot away? He does get the shot away, but it's gone high and wide, and it's going to be a goal kick to Brighton. And time is slipping away. Arsenal suddenly showing a little bit more urgency now in stoppage time. It's a little bit too little too late, you feel, in this game. But 1-1's not a disaster, it has to be said. Not a disaster. Mark C says, no offence to Partey, but the drop in quality, if either Timber or White are out at right back, is due. Well, yeah, obviously he's not a right back, is he? Why are we in that situation? You know, we've spent all this money. We've had this manager such a long time, and we haven't even got a squad that can cope with a couple of injuries. Nathan says, same with Jesus, back going down. Absolutely, he does, yeah. Anyway, Arsenal now trying to come forward. Brighton have picked the ball up, but Arsenal won it back in midfield. Now Thomas Partey striding forward, but that's a poor ball. It's going to run all the way through to the goalkeeper, Verbruggen, and time is slipping away. That's a long ball forward for Brighton, but it's going to come all the way through to David Raya. Comes outside his box and pings it out to Calafiore over on that far side. Just keeps the ball in, finds Mikel Merino. There's 2.5 minutes left here at the Amex, and Arsenal have got a free kick over on that far side in front of emptying stands here. It's bad weather, it's cold, it's raining, and Arsenal are seeing 2 more title points slip away. Unless we're going to see something quite dramatic here, but we don't. Well, we might do now because it's a free kick. A foul there by Ayani. And Arsenal have got a free kick here. Could be one of our last opportunities here. A little bit of a silly foul to make on Ødegaard there. He missed the ball. Terry says, can't see Liverpool losing to United, and Spurs look like the league's finished before January. Has only just started. Well, yeah, exactly, yeah. Anyway, it's a free kick now to Arsenal. This might well be our last big chance of this game. And Declan Rice looks like he's going to take it. The rain is absolutely teeming down here on the south coast. Early January in England. Can Arsenal find a late dramatic winner here? Declan Rice is going to take this free kick again. Very similar to the last two, the positions of the last two that we've had. This one again, he tries to bend it round. The header comes in. And it's over the top again. And that was Calafiore with the header. And we're into the final minute here of stoppage time. And I think it would have been offside in any case had he headed it in, which he didn't. Colonel says there, took a bench of 9 players to a game with only 2 players Mikel was ever bringing on from it. Exactly, yeah. Joke tactics, willing to give 17-year-old kids a go, but not Eddie, who's got 6 goals and 5 assists in 7 for 21. Yeah, I mean, you're right. I looked at that bench and I knew that only those 2 players were going to come on, and apparently those 2 have been suffering from illness as well. That's how much he trusts the rest of them. He's never trusted his squad, though, has he? He's never trusted his squad. Anyway, we're into the last 10 seconds of stoppage time. Arsenal have a throw inside their own half. Thomas Partey is going to take it, and this will probably be that. And Arsenal have got away with a draw here. I think we've got away with a draw, regardless of that penalty decision. And there goes a full-time whistle. It has finished 1-1. Brighton deserved that point. We don't. And it's been a very, very disappointing Arsenal performance today. We took the lead very early in the game. It was Ethan Nwaneri. The only real bit of quality that we showed in the final third in the whole game. He got clear down the right-hand side, got it onto his left foot and managed to find the bottom corner. But we didn't really create too much after that. And then in the second half, Brighton got back into it, and they deserved to get back into it. They played well. And it was a penalty. Yes, there was a little bit of controversy about it. I don't think there's much doubt about that. It was a header that came in from João Pedro, and then William Saliba caught him. Ref gave the penalty. João Pedro was who scored. And although they didn't create a lot of chances themselves, Brighton, we certainly didn't deserve anything else from that game. We didn't create anything at all in that second half. It was really poor. And Declan Rice was not very happy there, but none of the Arsenal players looked very happy. That was a poor performance. And that is 2 points dropped. And Liverpool will be happy about that, won't they? Ahead of their game tomorrow against Manchester United, where they'll be massive favourites to win, won't they? Not too many positives to take from that, really, is there? You have to say. Nathan says, the less said about it, the better. Thanks for the commentary, Rich. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. If by yourself, my friend, take it easy. Terry says, our next penny spent should be on a new manager. Well, I totally agree with you. You know, I'm not going to argue with you at all on that. That was poor. We've been poor for a little while now. We've got away with it in some of the other games. I thought we were fairly fortunate to beat Brentford. We were fortunate to get a draw today. Liverpool are now 5 points clear with 2 games in hand. Should they win both of those 2 games in hand, that's a big gap that I don't think we'll be able to claw back. So you have to say that the title's well out of our hands. But there you go. We've got 2 big cup games to come. Greg says the way we played was crap, but Arteta will tell us a point was as good as a win. Well, no, what he'll tell us is he'll tell us we deserve to win. He'll tell us it was a dodgy penalty that shouldn't have been given and that we should have won the game 1-0. That's what he'll believe. He'll believe that as well. He won't just say it. He actually believes it. Steve says, bye, all till Newcastle. And yourself, my friend, thank you very much for joining us. Go back to bed now. But yeah. So the other results from today, then, just in case you missed them: Tottenham 1, Newcastle 2, Villa 2, Leicester 1, Bournemouth 1, Everton 0, Palace 1, Chelsea 1, Man City 4, West Ham 1, Southampton 0, Brentford 5, and of course Brighton 1, Arsenal 1. Tomorrow it's Fulham against Ipswich and Liverpool against Manchester United. And Monday night, Wolves against Nottingham Forest, who would go above us if they win, wouldn't they, Nottingham Forest? Well, El Loco says, we never deserved a win here. We have lost our fluency in the past 4 games, and the reason is lying in a hospital bed. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think that's probably the reason. But we've got to be able to still find a way to win games and play good football and create chances and score goals. And we're not able to really do that. Yes, we've had a couple of fortunate wins over Christmas. I thought Ipswich we were poor. Brentford we were poor. We got away with it. Today we were poor. We've got away with it to a certain degree. The fact that we got a point that we didn't deserve. But yeah, looking at the league table, Liverpool 2 games in hand. They've got 7 goals better than us in the goal difference and 5-point lead. So yeah, it's not looking good, is it? It's not looking good. Nottingham Forest are just behind us as well, ahead of their game on Monday night. So we're in a top 4 battle, guys. We're in a top 4 battle. I think that's where we are. I think that's where we have to accept that's where we are. And if you think that's good enough, fine. You know, enjoy. I don't, because it wasn't good enough when Arsene Wenger was here. Shouldn't be good enough now. But it's where we are. Terry says, and we all need to spend more money on the merch. Of course, yeah. Make sure you buy your new shirts, guys. There was a new lot of merchandise released this week, which you've probably seen. So, yeah, you want to go and spend some money on that. Why not? You know, because that's all the club want. They just want your money. They want you to believe it's better than what it is. And most people seem to have just gone along with it. You know, we've got the most overrated manager in history. We've got the most overrated captain in history. And quite honestly, we're the most overrated team in history. We're scraping results and it's not good enough. And it's not going to change, unfortunately. Colonel says, Zinchenko also annoys me. Still guy plays in midfield for his country. Solid, never get a chance. They're annoying. I don't like Zinchenko at all, so I don't want him to play anywhere, but you're right. Sola says, yeah, we are not winning the league. Absolutely not. We've had a lot of chances to close the gap with Liverpool, but we never took them. We've handed the title to Liverpool. Well, I mean, Liverpool, to be fair, they've lost one game all season. I don't think we've handed them anything. I think they've earned it and they've deserved it up till now. But yeah, I mean, you're right. We've had chances and we haven't taken them. And yeah, but I don't think you can say we've handed it to Liverpool. I think they've deserved it themselves for their results and their performances. They've been miles and away the best team in the league this season so far. We're only halfway through, but you know they're not even halfway through yet, are they? They've only played 18 games. But yeah, we need to be much better. Obviously, if we're going to get anything this season. Terry says, if we sack Arteta, who do we replace? Well, that's the question, isn't it? Who do we replace him with? I mean, last year, if you had suggested Arne Slot, you'd have got laughed at. If you had suggested that guy at Chelsea, you'd have got laughed at. If you suggested a guy at Brighton who's just out-tactic Mikel Arteta, you'd get laughed at. Brentford guy, Thomas Frank, you'll get laughed at. The guy at Nottingham Forest, Nuno, you'd get laughed at. All of those managers are better than this one, all of them. You can go through the Premier League. And there's not many managers that aren't better than Mikel Arteta, in my opinion, out of the current teams in the Premier League. You know, we can all laugh at Man United, right, because they're terrible, but they've got a manager who if he's given the time and the money that Mikel Arteta has been given, he will win trophies for Man United. Absolutely guaranteed it. Within 5 years, less than 5 years, he'd be winning trophies if he's given the backing and the time that Mikel Arteta has been given. Absolutely, he'd be winning trophies. So you can laugh at them all you want. You can laugh at Man United all you want. Their manager's elite levels above ours. Absolutely he is. And he'll prove it if he's given the time. It's just, will he be given the time? Probably not ultimately. But he's a much better manager. Grat says there, poorly excited game today. Underestimated the opposite. Well, I don't know if we underestimated them. I just don't think we were good enough. Greg says, look on the bright side. The women are back next week. That's true. It is true. Women are back next week. And we've got a semi-final on Tuesday. I'm looking forward to that, as you can tell. Terry says, I think Win the Dog should be rehoused. Yeah, or rename him. Rename him Lose. Maybe that's what he needs to do. Have a dog called Lose. Lose the dog. I don't mean physically lose the dog because the dog's quite sweet and everything else, but call him Lose, we might start winning. Who knows? So it says that Arteta is too stubborn. Instead of buying a striker during the summer transfer window, he refused. Yeah, and he's going to, I don't know if he refused. He doesn't seem to want to play a striker, does he? Because he's never bought one yet since he's been manager for 5 years. Grat says there, a bit more Swedish for us to learn. But it's got Arteta in there, so we're assuming it's bad, and that's good. We agree with you. If it's bad, we agree with you. And Grat says, I meant to write executed. Oh, you know, oh no, I mean, I think that's a bit extreme. I wouldn't want Mikel Arteta executed. Just give him the sack. I think that's fine. Don't you know? Let's not go too far. You know, he just deserves a sack. That's all. Terry says, give the job to Rene. Just imagine Salty and Rene. Maybe give it to Salty. Give Salty the men's job. Because she seems to think she's good enough. She was comparing herself to Alex Ferguson. Give her the chance. Give her the chance. Bring her in. She reckons she can do it. She'd be a million times. We'd certainly have more chance of winning something than we do currently. LG says, how can you concede 25 minutes before time and don't look like scoring? Yeah, exactly. We didn't look like scoring before we conceded either, did we, to be honest with you? And it's almost like, you know, we're scoring one goal, going one goal up, and then, well, we're going to have to hope that's enough because we're not going to be able to get another one and just trying to desperately hang on. Grat says, no, the game was poorly. Oh, the game was poorly. It's good. Okay, yeah, well, it was. Although having said that, I thought Brighton played well, and maybe their manager just out tactics Arteta, which, let's face it, isn't really difficult to do, is it? It's not difficult to out tactic Arteta, is it? So maybe that's what he did. Terry says, put Arteta in a sack and chuck him in the Thames. Yeah, maybe that's a bit extreme as well, but if it's only if we can get rid of him, it's worth considering. Colonel says, sometimes I struggle to see the 800 million we spent on the pitch. We don't show the quality. We still need another 200 on attackers. Well, exactly, yeah. What have we spent? That's a good point now, actually, because what have we spent 800 million pounds on? Well, I'll tell you what we spent 800 million pounds on. We spent 800 million pounds on replacing players either that didn't need replacing, or replacing players that Mikel Arteta bought that he's had to replace because they wasn't good enough in the first place. That's where the money's gone. And that's why it doesn't look as though we spent 800 million, because we've spent half of that money replacing the shit players he bought in the first place, that we've had to pay off their contracts, some of them. And some players we've had to pay off their contracts, not because they wasn't good enough, but because Mikel Arteta couldn't manage them. He couldn't manage them. And we know which players we mean by that. And, there were people say, oh, well, he was a bad influence, all this, that, and the other. No, it's bad management. If you're a manager, you control your players. The players don't control you. And the fact that Aubameyang got into that situation he did was because Mikel Arteta couldn't manage him properly. Mikel Arteta couldn't manage Mesut Ozil properly. Mikel Arteta couldn't manage Ainsley Maitland-Niles properly. Nicolas Pepe couldn't manage him properly. The list is endless. And there's been talk of Fabio Vieira coming back from loan, right? I don't think that's going to happen. But imagine, he's going to be our saviour, a player that clearly isn't good enough, that Mikel Arteta spent £35 million on, by the way, not good enough, and he's going to recall him back on loan to sit him on the bench because he thinks that we need, rather than buying someone better, because we probably can't afford it because he's wasted so much money. He's wasted so much money on absolute crap. Look at this summer window. Have we ever had a worse transfer window than we just had in this summer? Mikel Merino, what on earth is he all about? Okay, he got an assist today, a decent ball, but come on. Do you know what I mean? Raheem Sterling. I mean, okay, only a loan, but Jesus Christ, that's one of the worst loan signings since that Suarez dude, Dennis Suarez, that we got on loan a few years ago under Unai Emery, that played about one game and it was crap. Do you know what I mean? And it's just ridiculous. Calafiore, crap, absolute crap. This is what our money's been wasted on, crap like that. That's where the 800 million's gone. Terry says that 800 million wasn't spent on any of our best players already here. Well, exactly. Yeah, that's a very good point, isn't it? It's a very good point. The best players that we've got were already here. They were. He's sold a couple of them. But yeah, I mean, it's just not good enough, is it? But there you go. Greg says, good idea, Terry. Knowing our luck, he's related to Houdini. Yeah, well, he seems to escape a lot of things, doesn't he? He does seem to escape a lot of things. But yeah, I mean, this was crap, honestly. Terry says, you could be right, Greg. He's still got a job. Exactly, yeah. He has still got a job, and he's going to keep his job because, as we've said, the owners weren't interested in the money that we're making from being in the Champions League. Our only hope is not to get in the Champions League, maybe. Grat says, put Lundberg as assistant manager and Henry as a mood and inspiration manager. Well, I don't know if that's what Mikel Arteta wants. He doesn't want winners in the group, does he? He doesn't want winners. He doesn't like winners. But anyway, it is what it is. We're in this situation now. We're in the January transfer window. I personally wouldn't let Mikel Arteta waste any more money. I wouldn't. He's proved he's not up to that. He's proved he's not up to the job, let's be honest. So I wouldn't give him any more money. I'd get rid of him at the end of the season if we haven't won a trophy, and then invest in a new manager. It needs a rebuild. It needs a rebuild, doesn't it? This is Mikel Arteta has taken us as far as he can, and I say the defensive structure of the team now is good, and the defensive structure of the team is good enough to win a Premier League if the rest of the team was functioning in the same effectiveness, right? So that's a good point for a new manager to come in and build from, and just work on the attacking part of the team now. Get that balance between defending and attacking, and finding a better way to play. Obviously, we need to get rid of half of this squad and get in better players. It's going to cost money. But that's what the club need to do. And if the club aren't willing to do that, then we're just gonna carry on like this, aren't we? Colonel says, can we not get David O'Leary in as manager? I think his days might have gone. I would have liked David O'Leary back in the day, but I think that ship sailed, unfortunately. But there's plenty of options as a manager. There's plenty of options. And anybody that says, who can we get? I'm sorry, there's managers all over the world that are better than this clown that we've got, better than this Spanish fraud that we've got in charge. There's managers, loads of them. Half the Premier League have got a manager better than Mikel Arteta. Half of the Premier League. You can't tell me there's no one out there now that can do a better job. There is. I'm sorry. There's loads of them. And that's just in the Premier League. In the Spanish League, in the Italian League, they're all over the place, these great managers. And if you look at other teams that are taking a chance on some of these managers that nobody would suggest, Brighton, Bournemouth. Look at the guy at Bournemouth. What a job he's doing. What a job he's doing. Can't we get him? He'll do a better job than Mikel Arteta. You know, the guy at Brighton now, he'd do a better job than Mikel Arteta. These are managers that's working on small budgets in a league against teams with massive budgets, and they're competing with them and they're beating them, and that's, to me, give them a big job and they'll be great. Give one of them the Arsenal job and we'd be better. And even if we didn't win anything, we're not winning anything now, but even if we didn't win anything, it'll be a million times better to watch. A million times better to watch. And that's so important, isn't it? At the end of the day, we all want to win trophies, right? We all want to be up there and enjoying those great moments, because they don't come along very often, right? And if you can't win trophies, then at least give us some entertaining football. At least do that. And if you can't do that either, let someone else have a go. And then I'd rather not win trophies playing good football than not win trophies playing boring crap football. But maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Grat says, the clock is already 20:45. Well, it's 19:45 here. I need to take care of my laundry, dishes, and take a shower, and even put some crap in the attic all before 12. Well, you better get a move on, my friend. You better get a move on. We'll see you on Tuesday night, hopefully. Terry says, we're going backwards every week. Players are on such big wages. We can't even sell them. This club are in deep. Yeah, exactly. I agree with you. Greg says, when the circus next comes to town, grab the clown and make him. We already did that. Didn't we? We don't want to do that again. Let's be honest. We want to take a step forward this time. But yeah. Salah says there, Arteta's record in 5 years, just one FA Cup to show for it. It's better to fully focus on watching our women's team than this shit. So, no, I agree with you, mate. I absolutely agree with you. And he won one FA Cup with none of the players that he brought, with the team that was already here, that apparently needed rebuilding. Because Emery's team and the remnants of Arsene Wenger's team, no, that wasn't good enough. Mikel Arteta had to completely rebuild it. And since he's rebuilt it, with his £800 million, what's he won? Nothing. Had he kept some of those players that knew how to win trophies, maybe he might have won a few more of them. But no, his attitude and his bad man management decided that those players wasn't who he could cope with, so he got rid of them all. And he replaced them with all nice little pretty players and 6'4" players who can win headers. And that's what we've become. Because they're players he can easily manage. Look at our players, personality-wise. They're all very similar, aren't they? Very, very similar. Look at them. They're all a similar age. They've all recently got married. They've all recently had babies. And they're all very, very similar characters. All of them. Because they're the sort of players he wants. He doesn't want a young single guy who's going to maybe live a different kind of lifestyle, who's going to be an exciting player to watch. He doesn't want them. He doesn't want them. He wants these nice, settled guys, nice family men that don't want to win anything, are quite happy doing what he tells them to do, but not winning anything. And this is why we're in the situation that we're in. But some people seem to like it. Some people think he's the best manager ever in the whole history of the world. And maybe they're right. And maybe we're wrong. And maybe this is the way forward for Arsenal. Maybe if we keep Mikel Arteta for another 5 years, he might finally win a trophy. He might finally get it right. Who knows? Who knows? Because the trophies are coming. I've been told loads of times on social media by all these Arteta fans, the trophies are coming. They're coming. Are they? Well, I don't see one of them coming. They're a bit like when the trains are on strike. You can wait at the station. The trains are coming. No, they're not. No, they're not. Trophies aren't coming. Not with this manager. Sorry. Gret says, take care, folks. Thanks for the company. See you next time. I do, we will, my friend. Let's just cross our fingers for Sweden in the Junior World Cup hockey, or as we say in Sweden, Holla Tamana. Okay, well, no, I hope Sweden do well in the Hockey Junior World Cup. I'll be cheering for them. And yeah, good luck to Sweden. Terry says, sorry, I won FA Cup and don't forget the free pizza plates. Exactly, yeah. That's what people keep coming back to, don't they? Well, he's won Community Shield. Anyway, look, we know what the situation is, don't we? We know what's going on. And I'm glad that it seems slowly and surely more and more people are starting to open their eyes to it. You know, and sometimes, you know, you see a lot of stuff and you think that you would think, listening to some people, that Mikel Arteta had been here 2 years. But he hasn't. He's been here 5 years. Let that sink in. 5 years. And look at the squad that we've got. 5 years. Come on. Come on. The only thing he's improved, as I said, is the defensive structure of the team. And that's good. That's really good. Right? It's not enough. It's good though, right? And he's done a great job there. Him and his coaching staff have done a great job there. But that's all they've done in 5 years. That's not enough, is it? You should look at Jules Graham. He did that in his first season. Tightened up the defensive side of the team. And from there, he was able to grow and grow it until we could win league titles. And he did that in, 2 years, right? Mikel Arteta's been here 5 years. In 5 years, Jules Graham had won 4 trophies. 4 trophies he'd won in 4 different competitions. No, 3. He'd won a League Cup. He'd won 2 league titles in his first 5 years. And he did it building from the defence forward. Colonel says, I agree with the height on players to be physical in Prem, but we do need a silky player like Ozil or Aubameyang. There's none, even though Laka would be very well got. No, exactly, yeah. And not only that, I mean, as fans, that's what you want to see, don't you? You want to see a player, you know, my favourite player in the Premier League at the moment is Cole Palmer, right? Because you never know what he's going to do. But what you do know is it's going to probably be something spectacular. And he gets you out of your seat. We don't have players like that, do we? None of our players get you out of your seat. It's all, well, okay, yeah, we've got the ball. We're going to pass it there. We're going to pass it there. We're going to pass it there. And eventually we'll probably score a goal and it'll be nice. But do you know what I mean? No one gets you out of your seat, do they? Greg says, don't be too harsh on Arteta. He's building for the future. We've got to give him another 50 years. Yeah, exactly. I think so, yeah. Although I think maybe after about 10 years, they might build a statue of him outside the Emirates. That's what's coming. Grat said, I think Arsenal tried to build up to the climax of the ending of a fever pitch, 18 years. Well, what do you mean? Give Arteta 18 years? Maybe that's what we're doing, yeah. I don't think we'll quite be able to build up to the ending of that again, will we? But who knows? That was Liverpool. We're fighting against Liverpool. Well, I say we're fighting against Liverpool for the league title. We're not. People want to believe we are, but let's just go along with it for the time being. We're fighting with Liverpool for the title. Who knows? Maybe we can pull it out of the bag at the end, shall we? And see, that'll be good, won't it? We'll enjoy that, won't we? Comp285 says there, managers that Arsenal can sign Xavi Hernandez now or make Albert Schweinberg as head coach until the summer, or sign Simone Inzaghi, Carlo Ancelotti in the autumn. See, I've got nothing against any of those managers particularly. I would rather go for one of these sort of managers like, you know, the guy at Bournemouth, for example, someone a little bit lower profile that's got something to achieve. You know, somebody like that. I'm not saying necessarily the guy at Bournemouth. I think the guy at Bournemouth would actually be a great manager for Arsenal, even though he's another pet prodigy, isn't he? But maybe take a chance on somebody. We took a chance on Arteta, didn't work, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't necessarily take a chance again. Yes, you know, you get a little bit more of an experienced manager in, you've got maybe more chance of succeeding, but a lot of those managers, Carlo Ancelotti, for example, are going to need backing. The owners aren't going to do that, are they? That's the problem that I would find with that. Terry says, please, Greg, don't say things like that. He may watch the show and you've given him some good ideas. Well, yeah, that's true. Grant says, I bet Paul to drop a point or two tomorrow. No. They're playing Man United. That's never going to happen, is it? Come on. Anyway, look, we're in the situation that we're in. The season is about to come to a crescendo now, isn't it? We've got these 2 cup games this week. Yes, we're at home to Newcastle. The game's not going to be decided on Tuesday. It's a 2-leg semi-final. Let's see what happens Tuesday, but that's still alive at the moment. The FA Cup next weekend, Man United. We should beat them, let's be honest. They're terrible. So we've got a really good chance here, haven't we, of getting through to, in 2 cup competitions. Let's keep that momentum going. We've still got the Champions League. But do we really think that this manager is going to be able to achieve anything like that? I actually don't. I really don't. But anyway, let's see. The Kroenkes won't admit they were wrong and messed up. Well, no, of course they won't. Grat says, just because AFC losing 3, we lost 2 today, didn't we? We lost 2 points there because we drew. But Liverpool win tomorrow, and they'll win their game in the end. That's it. Anyway, right, come on, guys. I need to go. It's been fun. Thank you for joining me. The game was terrible. The performance was terrible. It finished Brighton 1, Arsenal 1. Early goal for me from one area. Arsenal couldn't build on that. Never looked like building on that. And Brighton got a fully deserved point in the second half with a penalty from João Pedro. Controversial as it may have been, doesn't really make any difference. They definitely deserved that point, Brighton. In fact, they probably deserved more than that. We were awful. But we got a point. We're still unbeaten in, 11, 12 games. We're far from convincing, though. It's a big week of cup football coming up. I'll be here Tuesday night, of course. Arsenal versus Newcastle in the first leg of the semi-final. That is going to be good. So join me for that. Of course, next weekend we've got 2 big FA Cup games. The men play Manchester United. The women play Bristol City. So join me for both of that. Loads and loads of stuff. We're back with the Arsenal Women's Show as well on Friday, the first show of 2025. That is going to be good. So join us for that as well. Loads of stuff on the channel this week. It's going to be good. Stick with us. Please like, share and subscribe and all that kind of stuff. Grat says, well, bye, take care, sweet dreams, and some Swedish stuff as well, which I'm sure is good. Same to you, my friend. Greg says, please don't go, Rich. She's waiting to talk to me. Well, I'm sorry, my friend. I'm sorry, but I need some food and a cup of tea. Have another nap or something, Anyway, Colonel says, these owners need to show ambition. To 63 million release clause on Osimhen. Why not take a risk on him or pay for Almo or Victor? I would just get Ejak, actually. Terry says, thank Richard, love the little rants. Have a good rest of your weekend and night, Greg, and all in the chat. Yeah, as yourself, my friend, enjoy the rest of your weekend. We can relax now. The game's over. We haven't got to put ourselves through any more agony this weekend, just on Tuesday night. But that might be quite good. Who knows? So join me for that in Tuesday night. It's going to be exciting, isn't it? Cup semi-final. Is it Arteta's last chance to save his job and try and win a trophy? Well, has it come down to this? Is this where we are? Let's find out. But anyway, join me Tuesday, 8 o'clock kickoff. I'll be at 7:45 for that one. It's going to be exciting stuff, isn't it? So join me for that. It's going to be good. And also as well, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching, guys. Poor from Arsenal today. Finished Brighton 1, Arsenal 1. Not good enough. Not good enough at all, is it? But cup semi-final Tuesday, eh? Let's do it. Come on, you Gunners. Let's do it. See you Tuesday.